So unless these benefits are going to, roughly defined, foundational Black Americans, the descendants of American slaves, you've taken away the whole purpose of this. So to make the point that Kamala isn't a foundational Black American, I'm always...
You're just starting to get real credit for that, okay? I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense?
Let him cook now. Which is actually quite interesting because I got a call from the Foundational Black American Society here in Florida who reminded me that Byron's mother is Jamaican, he is Panamanian, and they found it quite insulting in their words that he would try to claim victimhood of slavery, not a single descendant of American slaves in his family.
I like those foundational guys.
They're so good.
Tariq Nasheed and all. I mean, I don't agree with everything, but they've got a perspective. If your family's been here 400 years, and the descendants of a lot of American slaves, or families have been here 400 years, I don't know. I think that gives... I'll listen to you. Like you've 100%. You've got a point of view that is legitimate, I think.
Yeah. And they're unequivocally heritage Americans.
That's for sure.
100%.
They're definitely heritage Americans, if anyone is.
You have said that you resent the idea of being called an African American, that
Yes.
you are a Black American.
Yes.
Explain.
I think that when they call Black people who were born and raised for generations in this country, if you accept the handle of African American, that says that you don't accept being an American American. You don't accept being born in Chicago or New York or Detroit or wherever you were born. For generations, your family has been here, built this country too. Sweat and tears and all that, fought in every war, okay? So this is my country here. So I don't want to be called African American. I'm an American American. My people have died and done everything for this country.
I'm always going to be known as a Black American. I can't call myself an African American because when they want to separate us, then they say we are African American. But remember this, when I'm competing in the Olympics, I didn't compete on an African American Olympic team. I competed on an American Olympic team. So don't separate me when you want to separate me.
I am not an African American. I'm an American. I am a Black American. I am definitely Black. And yes, my ancestors come from Africa. How long does a bloodline have to live in one land before they are considered a pure species of that land? Meaning, how long did my people have to be in America to say, hey, no, we're American, compared to some people who are English American, who are Irish American, who are German American from their ancestors, but they get to call themselves American. There's nothing wrong with being African American, but a true African American is someone that is from Africa and moved here, either first generation or second generation, and has a tie to that country that I do not have. One of the first census in Virginia that allowed for Black people to have a name was somebody from my family. So
Africans don't even fuck with us.
Wow.
Because they don't. We're not from the motherland. We're from America. So I'd rather say I'm a Black American. So I consider myself a Black American. I don't consider myself African American and shout that. Because Africans don't even fuck with us.
Wow.
Because they don't.
I don't mind the term African American. I don't want to be called African American.
Why is that?
I'm not African.
Very strong. That's how Afro get in front of my motherfucking race. I ain't never been to Afro-Color. I never been to Africa. Afro or Africa. Never been there. I'm not from Africa. I'm born and raised in Goose, Florida. I'm born in Goose, raised in Liberty City, the Poker Bean Project. Ain't never went to Africa, ain't thinking about going there. And I heard it's a beautiful place. Yeah, and I know it's the motherland, yes. But not my mother, not her mother, and not her mother's mother. That ain't their land.
Black History Month, we're highlighting foundational Black Americans whose ingenuity, innovations, and labor play a critical role in American culture and infrastructure. Next guest is working to ensure that foundational Black Americans' contributions are known. By author and creator of Foundational Black American Legacy, Teresa Allman. She joins me now. Teresa, hey, thank you so much for your time. But I was curious, what inspired you to make videos spotlighting foundational Black Americans?
Bruh.
Ronnie, you don't see me, you don't be like, hey, here's a guest on the platform like I do on my channel.
Yeah, well, it depends what you say. I might have some questions. Might be in the hot seat. But go ahead and say what you got to say.
You have to do what?
I said you might be on the hot seat. I might got a bunch of questions for you.
Oh, no, I got a plenty for you.
Well, yeah, but I'm not on the lines, or JJ, you're here now. So the questions are for you. I answered your questions, you're here now. Say what you're going to say right now. But I got questions for you afterwards.
I gave you the floor for 20 minutes yesterday. Can I speak?
Yeah, but I got to ask you questions first, and you have time to answer them. So
you got to do your, but I can't speak.
No, go ahead right now. But don't give a lecture.
20 minutes, bro. Can I get 5 minutes before you ask the question?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to you right now, man. Tariq Nasheed, there is no movement. It's nothing but a bunch of goddamn propaganda. He ain't dealing with no HR 40. He ain't dealing with no Congressman Anita Presley or Cory Booker. Well, how close? Y'all, he can't even tell you how close you're gonna get the money. Bruh. When? Y'all sitting around here cheerleading for this dude when like you said, you should be dealing with Dr. Claude Anderson. I would pick him over Tariq Nasheed any day. So if you want the smoke on that, hey, Claude Anderson plan versus the FBDA plan, he ain't even got a plan. You ain't laying out no groundwork. You niggas, excuse me, y'all running around here just talking about we FBA. You ain't FBA. You a tether. All that's doing is causing division. When the next congressional hearing on this? That's my question to you right now. Don't even answer because he ain't even told you. He ain't even connected to none of these politicians. Want to disrespect the elders and talking about we.
Hey, Ron, I'll take this one from you when the
let him finish first. Let him finish first.
First of all, what politicians are you working with? Go ahead, Tether.
Let me get some of this, Ron.
Wait, Issa, but listen. You could address that. But listen, what I want to do is ask him some questions about Pan-Africanism. We're not going to be answering questions forever. We want answers too. So go ahead and address that. But I got a lot of questions about Pan-Africanism. We're going to see if you're going to be truthful. See, because it's pointless to have a discussion. We're not going to be truthful about history. So go ahead and address that. And I got some historical questions about him for him about Pan-Africanism as a whole. Okay, yeah. because none of these guys, including him, none of these guys, including him, know more about Pan-Africanism than myself. I'm FBA.
Yesterday, you want to come in and bribe? I gave you the floor.
No, I'm waiting till you done to respond, bro.
Wait, I wanted to respond because I've been waiting for a minute too. I wanted to say something to brother.
Hold on, you gotta put it on hold 1 second because listen.
Let me say that. Anita Presley, brother. Anita Preslly, she's a lead co-sponsor of HR legislation to establish federal commission to examine the lasting legacy of slavery and development. You are deceiving people with that.
All right. So let me ask a question about that.
Tell you what, bro. Hey, y'all put my. You know how you share your link in my chat? Put my link in the chat.
Yeah.
Put my channel in the chat.
Well, I never put my link in your chat, but yeah, you can do that. Look,
channel all the time. Come to JJ7K TV, and where I'm gonna meet you at is on a neutral plan, girl.
All right, but I got it.
All right, can I respond to it, bro?
You know what, Issa? Until then,
Coombs, this is Coombs. You know why?
All right, listen. I don't care about none of that.
All right. All right. So as you can see, you got grown men jealous. You see, everybody want to get at them. And, respect to the panel. I get it. I ain't mad at y'all. y'all on a panel, and somebody disrespectful as that guy, you want to get at him. I get it. Like, we're all like guard dogs to the lineage. So I don't fault y'all. But please, please, please let me get these guys. I'm qualified. I'm well researched. I'm battle tested, and you could get them too. But let me just lead the way. I know what questions to ask these guys. And by the way, that guy, I appeared on his panel. He told me he'll come on my panel, right? He said, listen, as I came to his panel, he said, I can only answer questions. I cannot ask questions, right? I said, okay. I went over there. He asked about FBA, all those stupid questions right there. I answered all of them. I killed it. I even played it over here. I'll find it again. So now he's on my panel now. So I'm like, all right, bro, remember the deal, right? The deal. That's why he went to talk. Remember the deal. Now, you and just try to divide FB, and that's why all they talk about is us. Now, here's the dangerous thing about that. You guys are pulling up to giving them the inspiration, motivation, which is horrible. All right. But when they put FBA Tariq Nasheed in the title, you guys pull up. So that is incentivizing them to keep talking about us, because their numbers like 6 times what it would normally be. You guys got to let I told you before, let their channels die out. They say FBA, they're using FBA as a lifeline for their channel. And it's working because you guys show up. You guys are solely saving their channels. Their channels will be done, non-existent, obsolete, but you guys are pulling up. Let their channels die out. Okay? You are the CPR for their channels. Let their channels die out. Thank you. Stop going over there. You dig? And if it's anything of interest, I will normally share it over here, and where we all can watch it at one time and debunk it. But we don't need millions of FBA views over there. And then we only got 100 in our spaces. Like, we got to stop. Like, that is really being off code. Okay, so hold on. All right, what do we have here? Okay, shoot. I can't stand Internet Explorer, man. I have tabs like perfectly positioned, and when you don't go be there, okay. So remember that woman? Remember that woman, Dr. Queen Nzinga? Queen Nzinga. I can't get the words. Remember that woman, Dr. Queen Nzinga, that's on HC6 that need to get off? Okay, this is her website. I told you I'll go into her website. Her website is 100%. Look at this African word. Her website is 100% geared to like African. It's centralizing Africa, right? And that's not a bad thing. Centralize whatever you want. But when you start to disrespect FBA, then we see the agenda. A lot of them believe because we're delineating, somehow that attacks Africa. Somehow that weakens their curriculums, right? Their business, their coffee beans or whatever, Air Africa Snickers. And it doesn't. You dig? Like, you can still do what you do. You dig? Like, you can still sell a Puerto Rican flag, Puerto Rican headband. Like, we're not xenophobic like that. Like, you'll catch us wearing a soccer jersey, you dig, from Argentina somewhere. Like, that's not how we are as a people. We are very diverse. We're the most diverse people on the planet. You dig? So anyway, this is Dr. Queen Nzinga's website. Over the past 28 years of teaching African youth, I've observed various teachings and learning styles that have been proven effective among our children. A mixture of cultural relevance, active learning, call and responsive, tech innovation, and effective family community partnerships sets the Academy curriculum apart from other institutions. Whatever. And so look, Baba, some African guy right here. So, so like I truly believe that they are peer pressured by their alliances with these Africans. Like, yo, what's up with Tariq? What's up with your man Tariq? Because at one moment, this woman was talking like she was on code with us. And they're like, yo, what's up with your man, yo? He's bad for business. Yeah, you got to come at him. You got to disown him. You know how they do. They tell us that we got to like disown certain people. All right. So that is one thing, right? All this African talk. This is another thing. Her again, same academy, all this African stuff. And again, this is okay as long as you're on code. Okay, so all this stuff is like African centered. So what I'm showing you is that they believe it's messing up their money. Okay, if we read up in there, it's all this African stuff. And again, it's okay to do whatever. Look, an African center school bringing education solutions to the Black community. What? How the hell? How the hell Africa go? Welcome to the Uhuru Academy, an African center school, red, black, Marcus Garvey bullshit, bringing education solutions to the Black community. So you know they're not going to be truthful about Marcus Garvey. They're going to water down the slave trade. You dig? No, we don't. All this got to go in the garbage. All right. If they can't be totally honest, like we tell white Americans, hey, I know some of the stuff might make you feel like, you know, whatever, but it's the truth. And we're not going to let you believe something else happened. Slavery happened, Jim Crow happened, 100 years of lynching, you know, all this stuff. We are unapologetic when we talk about this stuff to white people. We don't let them, if you're going to feel bad, whatever. But it's whatever. You dig? So the same energy got to be towards those Africans. No, we're not letting you water down nothing. We're not letting no white T-man water down nothing. All of you were complicit. All of you had no good intentions for us. Stop. We're not going to let none of y'all rewrite history. All right? So I want you to see the switch. Okay, hold on. Of Dr. Queen Nzinga. That's on HC6. Okay. And I'm gonna go back to 19 Keys his Instagram, because I'm gonna show you some things. All right.
A broad cultural, ethnic, and racial identity for people of African descent in the U.S.
Okay, so now this is when Dr. Queen Nzinga was on code. Like she was with us. She was FBA ADOS. She was rocking with the lineage, 10 toes down, and she was still somehow Pan-African. All right. And she's now trying to beat up the Pan-Africans that's in her cult group, because she's a cult leader. Okay, so this is one of her cult members, her second in command. And he's arguing this African-American thing. He got a whole presentation right here. Identity and meaning of African-American, right? He's misinforming her audience, and she corrected him, as she should.
Okay, so you can get to the U.S. and you be classified as an African-American no matter where you come from, right?
You heard him. You can get, he said, if you get to the U.S., you become classified as an African-American no matter where you come from, okay? That's what he said. Now, he's been over here sounding like a fool trying to defend that statement. It's like, wait, so why don't we deserve a unique name that's like distinctive from every other name out there? Why are we the only people on earth that gotta share our ethnicity? the label, our ethnicity label. Why we gotta share it? No. Whatever racial group you want to call it, then it gotta be whatever you want to call it, then we're gonna call ourselves something different from that. Either the racial group got to be called something different, or we're going to call ourselves something different from the racial group. We're not going to allow this confusion linger. All right. So he said that. Now look how Dr. Mayat step in and sound like one of us Like, hey, that makes no sense.
Caribbean and watch.
Okay, so you can get to the U.S. and you be classified as an African American, no matter where you come from, right? Caribbean and Washington.
I want to interject really quickly, Ankh. This is why when you and I talk, I say, Ankh, you don't think we should throw the term African American away? No, we should throw it away. I say, Ankh. Away. No, really quickly, Ankh. This is why when you and I talk, I say, Ankh, you don't think we should throw the term African American away? No, we should throw it away. I say, Ankh. It's not specific to our lineage here in America. It's not specific to our lineage here in America.
Now, she sounds just like us. African American is not specific to our lineage right here in America. This is how she's talking.
Anybody that comes over here who's a descendant, who is of African descent can claim to be an African American. This is why I said I do believe that we should have a name that is specifically for us.
Okay, specifically for us.
Other Black immigrants cannot come into the country.
No such thing as a Black immigrant, but I get what she's saying, that other immigrants that's from Africa, the Caribbean, cannot hijack and become that too. So she sounds just like us. She made perfect sense. How do you go from that to minimizing this, to acting like Africa had no role in the slave trade, and we're now African American again? Like she went backwards. So that means that she understood his argument, she understood our argument, and she leaned towards our argument as the right position. So she's not clueless of both positions. She knows, right? So she stamped one. She said, nah, the FBA position makes the most sense. How the hell did she let illiterates get her back on the losing position? That makes no sense.
Country and hijack. And I do believe that we should have a name that is specifically for us, that other Black immigrants cannot come into the country and hijack. And you were like, no, African American, they know who's who, and you went through all that. But in your slide, these two bullets talk about exactly what I was arguing on the telephone. But please continue. Did you change your position?
No, I didn't. I'm still in the same. No, of course not. I'm still there.
I'm rolling with freedom.
No, I'm not rolling with
I am a proud Black American, a proud African American. So if you're saying that, well, Doc, you will be considered foundational, which I know my lineage is to this country, then so be it. But as I explained to Brother Ankh earlier, I embrace any of those terms. I do embrace FBA. I do embrace ADOS. I do embrace freedmen. Any of those terms that describe the lineage that I just discussed with you, I embrace those terms.
I am just as F.
So there you go. Now listen to Professor Small. So all of them knows that it just makes absolute sense as a Black American to call yourself FBA, ADOS, freedmen. These distinctive terms that's not, tied into what immigrants can call themselves. Watch this.
Just discussed with you, I embrace those terms.
I am just as FBA as you, in some way more than most.
All right, stop it, Professor Malls. You're not the super FBA guy. All right. Okay, so now you see where she was. Then she's here. She's allowing her guests to come on her channel and rewrite history to pretend Africans had no involvement in the slave trade. Listen to this.
Can you see my presentation?
Yes, I can. Can you hit the hide button down the bottom? Yeah.
Okay, so now the presentation is entitled Africans Sold Africans into Slavery and Other Fairy Tales That Keep White People Safe. Look at the white. He lowercase the W, and somehow that means something. Like, yo, these guys are weird.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so this is the presentation, Africans Sold Africans into Slavery and Other Fairy Tales That Keep Quote Unquote White People Safe. And notice the white lowercase. So this is what, the FBA, ADOS people think, when they say, oh, Africans sold Africans into slavery. Like, here's one guy, I'm an African. Here's another guy, I'm an African too. And
all right, he said some stupid stuff. But she started to invite people like that on here. I remember she invited this other tether that be manipulating Professor Smalls, and he was on here trying to act like Garvey was a hero and he didn't scam anybody, and start explaining the way Garvey scams. Like, dude, stop. Okay, so anyway, then something said, let me go to 19Z's wall, right? And notice that it looks like he took down the videos that he made about us, but it's okay. I already got a copy. But as I'm looking through his stuff, right? Look, look, he got him this Farrakhan look now. He shows Farrakhan like, yeah, this dude, and then he's the Ibrahim Traoré look over here. Anyway, this dude's a piece of trash. All right, so let's go down. Okay, this is him promoting. This is his commercial for his bullshit coffee. All right, so he's one of these fake rich guys. He like the Ibrahim Traoré look. Look, there it is. The big of the bullshit. All right. So, come on. All right. So that's the bullshit coffee commercial. I mean, come on, man. Stop. All right, now check out this. Now this is what they want us to do. Look, I'm gonna play this weirdo. This dude is zesty as hell, and this is what they rather us do. Rather than do what we doing now, they rather us to sound like this. Look at this.
Y'all let this cracker call her out her name.
Look, calling white people the cracker. Look.
And I ain't nothing like the rest of you niggas.
Look, saying the N-word out there, cracker, N-word. This is where they want us to be. This is where the liberal shills, this is where the Pan-Africans, they would rather us do this. Just call the white man the devil and a cracker all day long and be zesty and talk like this.
I'm more like a Glasses Malone. I slap the shit out that cracker.
Okay, so we're going to be the stereotypical coon. Like, that's what's acceptable. I slapped at this cracker. He the devil. Like, all these name calling. Look, but we can say that, though, but we can't say tether. Like, stop.
On stream. A white person cannot invalidate or validate anything in our spaces.
All they do is just anti-white all day long. Ignore everybody else, all the other hate towards FBAs, and they just focus all on white people. This is what they want us to do. But this is what Pan-Africans do. Nah, that's y'all doctrine. That's y'all religion.
So let's start there. Who gives a fuck what Aiden Ross thinks?
White guy.
Let's start there. I'm going to start at the point A.
Just cursing.
A cracker can't invalidate or validate anything in our space.
Yeah, no bass in his voice at all. But that's when I watched that, I said, they want us to be that? This zesty and like, nah. No. Hold up. No. This is how they want us to sound when we come on the internet, like just goofies, hateful goofies.
So who's to blame? And I would blame anyone within the culture who gave him validations with their presence on his show, on his stream, but also don't check his behavior. Because often you niggas get caught up in this
Look, N-word, like this. Yeah, but that behavior is acceptable. Just N-word, cracker, white man. No, we're not doing that. No. And ain't happening. We're gonna talk with sense. All right. So one more time, let's get this guy out there. I'm not gonna play these other ones. I'm just gonna play one, and then we're not even that one. So I'm gonna play one, then we'll get right to the show. Watch this.
Did some labor. Now that the Portuguese are there, he hired some of the Portuguese to take these Africans from one part of Africa and another. Now the European is interpreting this as meaning the African was in the slave trade. The African was not in the slave trade.
So I'm telling you, I believe this type of rhetoric from a so-called Pan-African, well-renowned historian, this gave everybody their starting point. I'm talking about tethers, Africans, Pan-Africans, everybody got their confidence and starting point from this guy. When he said it, they all said, all right, we can say it. Because we got a so-called scholar saying Africans had zero relations with the slave trade. Okay. All right, what is this about right here?
It might seem like Gen Z has a whole different vocabulary compared to other generations. But a lot of the words dubbed as Gen Z slang can actually be traced back centuries to Black culture. NBC News correspondent Marquise Francis.
Black culture, right? But we don't have culture. They doing whole shows getting millions of views on our culture, but a tether gonna tell us we ain't got culture. Okay.
Looked into the history of some of these phrases. Hi, Marquise. Nice to see you.
Hey, guys. How you doing? So watch enough reality TV, listen to different genres of music, or simply spend enough time on your phone, and it won't take long before you hear words like fam, lit, or tea. And while one of the youngest generations is claiming it as their own, several linguistic experts I spoke to said all of these terms have roots to a darker time in American history. Take a listen.
Attractive female. Baddie. Old person.
Spend enough time on TikTok and you might assume some of the...
Yeah, it's okay because, again, this is the best example of admiration, right? Everybody's trying to learn our dialect, our slang. They're trying to keep up with how we communicate. They're not learning some African native, some African language. Not trying to learn Spanish. Everybody's trying to learn how we talk. They want to communicate with us. They want to sound cool. They want to be socially accepted. They ain't trying to sound like an African tether.
The app's youngest US-based creators are speaking a different language.
The first word I want to help translate is chopped.
Yeah, I know Chopped. It's the show on the Food Network.
Never give up.
What's been dubbed as Gen Z slang, words like cap, riz, drip, and unk, many linguistic experts say can be traced back far before Gen Zers were even alive. Some words harken back centuries to enslavement. Born out of struggle and trauma, some linguists say the language was often used to speak in plain sight, but not be understood by outsiders. Today, many of those words are identified as African American language, also known as Ebonics or AAVE, African American Vernacular English.
I don't necessarily say that no one else can speak it, but what I do say is it comes from those people that created it.
Thank you. And look what they said. We speak it in plain sight. We're speaking English. The slave owners are speaking English, but we codified our language where we're saying the same words he's saying in English, but they mean something different to us than it is to them. When we say we're black and when a tether says they're black, we don't mean the same thing. And I exposed that. I told that on my channel. I said, nah, when we say black, we're talking about the black experience, which is the American U.S. chattel slavery ethnogenesis. It's the ethnogenesis that was born from U.S. chattel slavery. When they say they black, they just talking about their skin color. You dig? And they have a nation name. They have a nation identity. They have an ethnic identity. Our identity is exactly just black. That's why we're just black. These folks are African, they're Nigerian, they're Igbo, they're American, they're black, they are African American, all these things. And we're just black. They're like, yo, you don't gotta, it's okay, man, just be yourself. We're not black and then African and something. No, we're just black. One thing. You guys are 10 things trying to be us. We're just one thing.
Sandra Lanehart, a linguistics professor at the University of Arizona, wrote the Oxford Handbook of African American Language to address its misconceptions and push the boundaries on how we define language.
There isn't one English. New Zealanders speak English, Australians speak English.
Out of California, where the storm continues over Ebonics.
Following the Ebonics controversy of 1996, in which the Oakland, California Board of Education recognized Ebonics as a primary language to improve literacy, a firestorm ignited around the country with debate about the language's endorsement. It's characterized by unique grammar.
Good becomes guh, with becomes whiff,
Instead of he's at the park, he be at the park.
Playful pronunciation patterns in regional vocabulary with cultural significance. In the internet era, it spread quickly through music, pop culture, and on social media.
Since when did non-black people start saying unk? And then y'all using it wrong. When did this happen? When did this happen?
Okay, so non-black people means it's also immigrants of African descent of the Caribbean and Africa, like, because they're not black. Like, we're black. They are what they said they were: Caribbean, African, things like that. We say we're black.
Some people have been praised by its use, while others have been chastised.
I think the source of it, the inspiration, is coming from African American language. And I think we have to be careful. First of all, not all slang is African American language, and African American language is most definitely not slang. And so I think there's a beautiful Venn diagram that we could draw here.
So what is the line drawn between Gen Z imitation and celebration of language and all-out theft?
Attribution is that line, right? So in one sense, I think it's completely reasonable and fine that a person would do as historically has been the case, borrow from like marginalized frames or other points of intersection across time, right? But it doesn't make any sense to me that you can hear a word and then say that word sounds cool or is interesting. Let me never look into it and just start saying it. That seems strange to me.
And when the origin of a word is stripped away, linguistics advocates draw a direct line to the erasure of a community's history.
When you say
Now, all the signs and images they're showing us, that resonate with us. That means something. Our soul resonates. The glow in us, our DNA, our bones start to glow. Like those pictures they show, Jim Crow, the slavery picture, that means something to us. We relate to that immediately. There's a connection. No goddamn immigrant looks at that and be like, that's me. Immigrant, look at. Zesty ass dude next to me. Immigrants look at those signs and that means nothing to them. Nothing. Let me go back. Right here. When immigrants look at this right here, this means absolutely nothing to them. This means everything to people who call themselves black. This means absolutely nothing to somebody who calls themselves black that's an immigrant. No, you're not black. Okay? This is for black. This is black people history right here.
Direct line to the erasure of a community's history.
when you say that it's not about the language, it's not that deep, what you're saying to me is hundreds of years of history, hundreds of years of ingenuity, hundreds of years of being genius don't matter.
So the next time a word becomes hip, maybe just look at where it came from and what it really means.
So to reiterate, African American language is not exclusive to Black people, but knowing the history and attribution the language experts I talk to say is what's most important. Without that, some people are able to benefit while those who created it are often erased.
It's so interesting and fascinating to think about the root of these words that you just hear everyone using, but to actually dive in. And so many young people, I think, use a lot of these words and they're just saying it because their cool friends are saying it.
Yeah, words interchangeably, they change meaning over time, but where is it actually coming from is the real question.
That's a great story. Exactly.
Okay, as you can see, that right there, that history means nothing to an immigrant. There's no relations at all. Okay, hold on. All right. 1 second. One second. Let me show you what else means nothing to an immigrant. Let me find what I'm looking for. Is this it?
Mississippi. Today, a situation exists in Mississippi.
Okay, we might could play this right here.
that is unlike the situation in most states in the nation. In some sections of the state, there is a preponderance of colored citizens. This situation has brought problems, it has created challenges, but most important of all, it has inspired a social system to meet the challenge. In every community in Mississippi, there is segregation of the races. Drinking fountains are segregated.
Right there, colored white. That don't say African. That say colored. And that was not for Africans. That was not for Caribbean people. This right here was understood. Like, we know what that means. When we see colored and white somewhere, we know, you know what I mean? That means something to us. That means nothing to an immigrant. So like, yo, listen, man, we don't relate and it's okay. If I go to South Africa, some apartheid signs, some apartheid memorabilia, statues, that's not going to mean nothing to me as it means, you know, I might know nothing about it. I got to be educated. So when we see these Confederate statues being knocked down, and that means that's like a W to some of us because we know what they represented. That means nothing to an immigrant that comes over here. They just see a statue just being knocked down. Like, okay, what's that about? You know, if it stands up, that means nothing to them. Like, okay, statue, it's not going to be knocked down, will be knocked down. They don't give a damn either way. So the thing is, we're saying, stop trying to be us, man. Like, certain things in this country that means the most to us means absolutely nothing to you, dude. Like, we sense that it means nothing to you. Like, we sense like the energy is completely off. It ain't the same. We got the green glow. You might not have glow at all, but if you do got glow, it ain't green. It's yellow or something else. It matches your teeth color, yellow. All right. So now I want to get here.
On Ghana's coastline stands Elmina Castle, not just a monument.
Now look at this castle. Now they want to act like this don't exist, right? Like, this never existed in history. Okay, white folks just came to the coast of Africa and built this up, and the Africans, look how massive this thing is, and the Africans had no idea this was there. Hey, no, we're not letting y'all revise history, man. We're gonna cook y'all every chance we get.
But a memory carved in stone. Built in 1482, Elmina Castle is the oldest surviving European structure in sub-Saharan Africa, but its legacy is darker. Behind these walls, European powers traded in human lives, and deep below...
Yo, keep in mind, European powers, no African mentioned at all. This castle is in Africa, you dig? And we're getting no mention of Africa or Africa's involvement at all. Everything is European.
In suffocating dungeons, hundreds were held before being forced through the door of no return.
Okay, now she just made it clear whose castle this is. This is Europeans' castle. Hundreds are being held here by who? The implications is by Europeans. Hundreds are being held here by those Europeans. It's their castle, and they were forced through this door. Who forced them through the door? Europeans, because it's their castle. So this whole framing is white man did everything. Africans are innocent, and if Africans are innocent and white people did everything, Europeans did everything, then they deserve reparations. You dig? They were a victim like us. Like, that's the framing, okay, that they're going with. And we ain't letting that happen. And they mad.
Space you see beside me is the famous door of no return. Now, this door, historians say that you have to lose weight to a certain level before you are able to enter. Once you
so your big ass start losing weight, your big back ass.
Pass through this door, there's no coming back in here into your country or into the land of your birth. So
you hear this? Into your country. You hear this, dog? Yeah. Oh, so it's a country now? Because remember, it's not a country to these tethers. They want to divide it up. No, you can't blame Ghana because it wasn't Ghana. So there was no country. There was just tribes, and each tribe was a sovereign country in their own right. But now it's a country now.
It's going to before you are able to enter. Once you pass through this door, there's no coming back in here, into your country or into the land of your birth. So I'm just going to try to enter
In the land
this to
of
see
your
if,
birth. Get your big ass through that damn tunnel.
you know, I'll fit inside.
You can fit. Big ass.
So
take that wig off, you might get through there. That lace front.
Obviously, this is very difficult. This is not a passage that human beings are supposed to enter, but
lay off some of that bush meat, your big ass get through there.
This is what people were subjected to, and this is one of the reasons why Ghana and President John Dramani Mahama is at the United Nations trying to push for reparative justice.
Yeah, look how she tied look how she tied Ghana in there. This is why, look, Elmina Castle, white people castle, hundreds of people were forced in the castle, kept in the castle, white people, and then they were forced out the door of no return, leaving their land, their birth, by white people. White people, white people, white people. And this is why Ghana's president is asking for redress, reparations, because of what the white man did in Africa.
Demanding that the transatlantic slave trade be recognized as a great...
Ma'am, you need bat diet, okay? Lay off the bat soup, you know, the bat wings, the fried bat wings. Lay off that, you dig? And you might get through that damn door.
Mahama is at the United Nations trying to push for reparative justice, demanding that the transatlantic slave trade be recognized as a grievous crime of all humanity. Today, people don't just visit, they come to confront history.
Yeah, my TikTok is, let me type it in there. I haven't been on live yet because I'm not confident y'all gonna follow me over there. But if y'all, I don't want to be TikTok with nobody. I'm just talking to my damn self. Okay, but here's my TikTok. TikTok is this, because TikTok will be a little easier to go live because I won't need my computer. I could just use my phone. When you're live on YouTube, like the computer is just way more convenient to go live. You get the thumbnails.
Stop talking over me. I've asked you to stop. So what I'm saying is that it's a property crime.
Okay. Hold on. Y'all keep playing with these damn race soldiers. I don't play with race soldiers. So everybody who do follow me, I do follow them back. So this is it right here. So unbiased Ron. So it's FBA News and Updates, but it's unbiased Ron. And that is this is my TikTok. I got 217 followers. I should have 5,000. You dig? You know exactly what I got on YouTube, but that's it. All right. Now let's get back to the big back woman that can't get to the oh wait, stop. I hate this laptop. It's gonna keep going. It's not gonna stop. I'm pressing stop, but it ain't gonna stop. Okay, cool. All right, here we go. Oh, thank you for the super chat. LRBB, bro, do you have TikTok? I support content creators. I will follow you on TikTok. I am, my damn laptop. Teleproof or on there. You meant to say teleproof. All right, thank you, brother. $5 super chat. The lineage love in the building. Thank you. Somebody said they got the hippo burgers. Yeah, lay off that shit, man. Fried bat wings with dip. Hot.
You can only imagine what they went through. But I promise you, this is worse than any story can ever tell you. This is worse than any horror that can scare you, any thriller that can surprise you, and crueler and more depraved than any.
Hold on, let me refresh this so I can get him a comment. Because like the framing is just disgusting. But I hope y'all see how they're framing this whole Elmina Castle thing. They're framing it as though white people are just a guilty party. All right. No African had anything to do with this, or one African. It wasn't a whole system where Africans benefited, got rich, kings and queens, Queen Nzinga.
Were held
Okay, so let me get back to where we were. Okay. Right here. Let me leave a comment. Because I've been cooking these guys in the comment section of all their videos. God damn. So you got some people in here like calling out, but most people, believe it or not, when these videos pop up, most people be like, yeah, Africa, man, the Europeans are terrible people. Like you really get too much, you don't get too much pushback in the comment sections, like exposing that these guys are lying.
Person can think of. There is no compensation you can do.
All right, so we got a troll in the chat. They won't click the link. The link's right there for this guy. He says Ron be obsessed with Africa. No, Africa's obsessed with us. We're responding. Most of our lives are responding to you tethers. You put our name and stuff. Of course, we highly resent and reject a dusty ass country claiming reparations, trying to hijack the movement, hijack the swag, and then run with it, and then be on a false premise. Yes, we're going to have a problem with that. Just like if we start to say anything with the word Holocaust in it, you're going to see a community come out. If we start to say anything that will remotely steal away what happened to the natives, the indigenous people, or whoever else, they're going to have something to say. If we talk about internment camps in America, the Japanese population is going to step out there and say something. So we are no different. We're going to say something to our hijacking. Okay, so no, we're not letting you Africans get out there and hijack our movement. Okay, yeah. So sorry, Hannibal, it ain't gonna happen. But there's the link though, Hannibal. So whether you like what I'm doing or not, and whether I like what you're doing or not, one thing that separates me and you, Hannibal, is that I'm gonna tell the truth about history. You won't. And the challenge is right there. There's the link. Ask me a question about history and watch how honest I be. And I'm going to ask you a question about history and let's see how honest you be. So let's go back and forth. Let's see who's going to be honest about history. Click the link and let's ask each other historical questions. Or if you have no questions for me, I got maybe 5 questions for you about history. It's not hard. You can Google it and find out the answer. I don't believe you're going to be honest about history. I don't believe none of y'all can be. So prove me wrong, Hannibal. Click that link and prove me wrong that you could be honest about what happened in the past. I think you're going to lie. You dig? Like this documentary right here. So prove me wrong. Click that link and prove me wrong that you guys can be honest about the past.
But it's a start.
But it is a start.
It's a start.
That start is now at the center of a global push.
Ghana has secured the United Nations backing for the transatlantic slave trade to be declared the gravest crime against humanity. 123 countries supported the resolution, 52 abstained, including the United Kingdom and European countries, while 3 countries, including the US and Israel, opposed it.
The demand is clear. Acknowledgements, apology, reparations, and a promise it will never happen again.
You see that? Yeah, well, did y'all promise it'll never happen again? Did y'all promise that? Because y'all doing it now. You guys never stopped doing it. So did you promise it'll never happen again? You didn't apologize. Well, you did apologize, but then you didn't apologize. You did. You got to make your mind up.
For many, recognition must come first.
An apology is yes, we did it, and we acknowledge that it happened. And although it is not as
hey yo, these tethers, dude, you gotta apologize, my guy. We want to apologize from both of you.
directly that participated, but our ancestors that participated in it, we apologize for it, and it's sort of like it suits you.
Okay, dude, can you do it first? Can you acknowledge your role, your huge role? Can you acknowledge if you did not participate, that trade would have never been as successful as it was? Can you admit that?
It's a first step towards the other things that would have to come up. Talk of reparations and all of that. All of those things can't happen without accepting it and apologizing that yes, it did happen.
Inside the castle, that pain is still palpable. Visitors walk through the same cramped cells, some pausing in silence, others leaving wreaths in memory of those who never returned. For members of the diaspora, the call for justice is personal.
We have been fed lies like we were sold for beads, and we were just casually given up and sold as people of no value. And then on the other side, we got...
Wait. So what were you sold for then? Hey, nobody lied to say that crazy shit. They tell you guns, alcohol, K2, fentanyl. Like, they keep it real. Textiles.
Seen as people who were slaves. No history prior to slavery. And I believe that we are due reparations for building America, building the so-called New World, and on this side for depriving Africa of its strength and substance that it needs.
Depriving Africa of its strength and substance, and their strength and substance were us. No, they sold us. They didn't have to sell us.
Needed for its own development. So we have been double robbed, double lied to, and it's time to clean up.
Yet, even
meanwhile,
here,
she got a Kwanzaa hat
not
on.
everyone sees it the same way.
Most of the times, it saddens me, and one way or the other, it's also funny to hear a lot of Ghanaians saying the slave trade is no more. So why don't you just forget about this whole reparation? And then
wait a minute. Yo, these guys are, but they won't have no conversations with us. Look, if these guys really believe that they are owed reparations for what they're claiming they're owed reparations for, why do they run from us to have this conversation with us? Why don't they have this conversation with us? Let's pop off. Hey, yo, there's nothing better than to pop off the slave trade conversations with a Black American.
Let's get this mother crunk.
Let's get the conversation crunk, man.
I feel sad whenever I hear people say so, because they don't know the depth of the atrocities which was committed on Africans.
Others say the moment demands action now.
We've been waiting for this to happen. We've had this question from the people from the diaspora since 2019 up to today.
2019. That's when A and ADOS was full steam, right? Okay.
As they come. So everything that the president is pushing up, as well as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I'm really, really super in support about it. It should go a long way, not only to be talked about, but definitely we really want
she did have an accent,
and the world to really recognize that this was one of the most evil trade.
Yeah, get up out of here, man. The hell off my screen. All right, here we go. So, okay, listen to this tether right here. So this is the main guy. This is the thumbnail guy. He's going to explain, like, he has the video is called, matter of fact, let me do this. God damn, man. Let me switch. Okay.
Three countries said no. the United States, Argentina, Israel. Over 100 nations said the transatlantic slave trade was the worst crime in human history. And those three said, no, it wasn't. Then every single country in the European Union abstained, all 27. And in the corridors after that vote, several European delegations used the same 4 words to explain themselves. March 25th, 2026, New York, the UN General Assembly. Ghana brought.
So you can see this is a very recent video, these African tethers trying to change the narrative of slavery right in your face. and I'm like, how can people think they can rewrite history when it's well documented? Oh, they're going with moral support. Because they know most people ain't probably gonna read it because they just gonna believe in African, right? And because there's many reasons, but they're going with moral support. They're trying to get people to believe this lie. Oh, America, you enslaved the world, you know, that type of shit. And pretty much trying to brainwash people to a lie. I'm like, so y'all gonna rely on lying to get reparations? Good luck with that.
The resolution to the floor, simple language. The transatlantic slave trade, the forced deportation of over 12 million Africans across the Atlantic between the 15th and...
Now, look what language he's using. The forced deportation of 12 million Africans. Look, Africans across the Atlantic between the 15th and 19th centuries should be recognized as the gravest crime ever committed against humanity. Starting with you. Can you admit that you were part of the gravest crime ever committed? You. That's you. That got your name all over it. All right, hold on. These damn tethers, man. Oh, my God. I keep showing you guys we can do nothing with a tether. Absolutely nothing. Okay. Hold on. It's not what I wanted. All right, let's go.
And the 19th centuries should be recognized as the greatest crime ever committed against humanity. 123 countries said yes, including Iran, which Western media will tell you has low moral standards. Iran said yes. The United States said no. The African Union had already declared 2026 to...
So family, as you can see, this was a whole finesse from the door. They, look, I mean, it's clear. They were going to put together this reparations package, be ahistorical, make stuff up, deny, over-exaggerate, romanticize, and then push it before the world. They knew 100%, they knew 100% sure that United States was going to say, hell no, we ain't supporting that garbage. Y'all rewriting history. So like they had this whole everything ready. Okay, United States, they're going to say no because we are lying. So we're going to have these sad stories put together awaiting to see, look, United States, look. Nah, not working. Not working.
2036, a decade of reparations, has a sitting commission seeking trillions in claims. The resolution was non-binding. No money changes hands today. No court orders follow tomorrow. But Europe still abstained because they know something about how international law works. It doesn't move in days, it moves in decades. And every decade starts with a vote like this one. So let's talk about what they are actually protecting. Africans sold their own people. You see, if Africans were equal partners in the slave trade, then...
Hey, bro, don't equal partners. In what sense? You talking about equal benefactors? No, you guys were stupid. You guys devalued your product. You guys did an appraisal. You guys didn't know what you were selling was 1,000,000 times more worth than the value you put on them. That's your fault. So no, the trade wasn't equal in that sense, but no, you were equal partners. You were the kidnappers, you were the suppliers, and you were the sellers. And white people were the buyers. Okay, you were equal as far as that. You agreed to your part in the slave trade. So look how they trying to frame it.
About what they are actually protecting. Africans sold their own people. You see, if Africans were equal partners in the slave trade, then Europe was simply a buyer in an existing market. And if it was just business, just commerce between willing parties, then reparations makes no sense. You don't pay damages for buying something that was already for sale. That right there is the escape hatch. That is the entire function of that sentence. Here is the thing about stolen goods. In every legal system on earth, the buyer is still guilty.
Okay, so now you see where you're going? The buyer is guilty and the seller isn't. The kidnapping. Hey, bro, but it's more than just selling. It's also kidnapping. So now he's telling you, when you sell drugs, look where he's going now. When you sell drugs, the addict, the buyer, is guilty, but the drug dealer is innocent, or should be held to a less responsible. The buyer's guilty, right? But the drug dealer, the drug seller, is okay. The guy who when you talk about trafficking, right? Human trafficking today, the people who kidnap you, a cartel, whatever, and sell you off to Epstein, right? They're innocent. Epstein's guilty only. Like, come on, man. Come on. Yeah, they gotta stop.
Is the entire function of that sentence. Here is the thing about stolen goods. In every legal system on earth, the buyer is still guilty. The fence doesn't walk free because someone handed him the merchandise. The question is never just who sold, it's who built the system. And that answer is not complicated. The ship.
All right, so now look how they're gonna go away from everything. Who built? Nobody argues white European involvement. European involvement is documented, is well documented. They don't deny their involvement, my guy. This is a straw man. This is the John Clark. Africans didn't have ships.
Were European. Every single one. The ports were European. The weapons flooding into African coastal regions, weapons that armed local elites and destabilized their rivals, came from Europe. The insurance policies that covered lost cargo, that's the term they used. Lost cargo for people who died during the crossing. That term was used by European banks at the time. Lloyd's Bank of London. The legal codes that classified a human being as property was written by European governments.
Oh boy, hey family, look at the downplay, look at the finesse. The European, yeah. Dude, it's not working.
The plantations were European owned. The financial
So he skips 300 years later. The plantation. No, dude, let's talk about the slave trade. Ain't no plantations right now. There's no plantations. There's Elmina Castles. There's kidnapping going on in Africa by Africans. Okay, let's talk about that. There's no plantation without that.
System built around the trade was European. This was not African commerce. This was a European industry. Yes, some African elites handed over captives. That happened. But those elites were operating inside a machine they did not design, they could not control, and could not stop. A machine where Europeans had guns, the ship could not stop. A machine where Europeans had guns, the ships, the markets, the laws, the power to reward those who cooperated and annihilate those who didn't. And when communities refused.
Okay, so family, y'all hear this? This dude said African elites, yeah, they were involved, but they were involving inside a machine that they did not design. Okay, family, that is moral deflection tactic. Not designing a system is not the same as participating in it, right? African states captured, as I said earlier, traded and sold people, my guy. Some became economically dependent on the slave trade, which we know. Some wars were fought specifically to capture slaves. That means they had no smoke originally for historically with that tribe. They encouraged the smoke to capture and sell people to Europeans. So not designing the system doesn't remove responsibility. If you're capturing, kidnapping, taking, stealing people and selling them for profit, you are a participant. You are in the business. You are in the market. Okay? You're not just a victim of the system, liar.
Villages were burned.
Now, he just said they had no control. They couldn't stop it. Okay? Again, that is overgeneralization. Some African groups resisted, avoided trade, engaged heavily and willingly, right? So some resisted, some avoided trade, and some engaged heavily and willingly. It wasn't one uniform experience like they would tell us. The Dahomey actively participated. The Asante heavily involved, and some others resisted. All right. So if some African kingdoms resisted successfully, then clearly participation was not purely forced. That means others made strategic decisions to engage.
Leaders were executed in public as warnings, entire kingdoms dismantled. That's not trade, that's coercion. Now, here is what they never tell you. Hundreds of African kingdoms fought back, not for years, for generations. Queen Janga of Dongo and Matamba, modern-day Angola.
Did this guy just mention Queen Nzinga? Oh my God.
Fought the Portuguese for roughly 30 years. She negotiated when she had to. She fought when she could.
She negotiated when she had to, and she fought when she could. Yeah, you know we have Google. I know y'all lights be going off out there in Africa, but you know our lights stay on over here. You know our internet stays on as long as the bill is paid, or you're in a good stable Wi-Fi area. You know we can just Google Queen Nzinga, my guy. You got to stop lying.
She refused to bend. Portugal spent decades trying to erase her from history.
What about the Dutch? You're being selective. You said Portuguese. What about the Dutch? What about her dealings with the Dutch? Come on, my guy. We know history. Come on.
She stands in a square in Luanda, a bronze statue facing the ocean where the slave ships came from. The kingdom of
All right. Stop right there. All right, wait, go ahead.
Benin banned slave trade entirely. See, the West African kingdom looked at what Europe was offering and said no. And in 1897, the British sent an armed expedition, burned the city, looted it.
All right, so now he's going to the Berlin conference. Dude, so this guy is talking like he's jumping from like literally 400 years. He's literally talking in one sense the 1500s and then talking about the 1900s. Like, dude, can we keep it somewhere? Like, so you just skip slavery altogether when it was altogether abolished transatlantically and domestically in America. When slavery was abolished completely worldwide. You're talking about stuff now? After that? Like, dude, stop. He's cherry picking. He's cherry picking resistance to overshadow participation. You got to stop, my guy. He highlights Queen Nzinga, the Benin and resistance, but he ignores Dahomey slave raids, Asante involvement, internal African slave markets, right? That is what I call cherry picking, selection bias, confirmation bias. You can't highlight the few who resisted and ignore the many who participated. That's not history, my guy. That's storytelling. That's your story. Okay, so he turns a shared system. This is what they all do. They turn a shared system into a one-sided blame argument. All right. This was a European industry. The Uncle Ruckus guy came on my platform and tried to do the same thing. I stopped him so fast, bro. Stop. We ain't doing that. We talking about slave raids, my guy. We ain't talking about what with the European. I don't give a damn. We're talking about Africa's involvement only. Okay, so when they say this was a European industry, family, that is called overcorrection. Okay, European dominated system. Nobody argues that it was a European dominated system with African participation. Nobody argues that. All right. So they all removes African agency to strengthen reparations logic. They can't be honest with themselves. Well, really, like they know they're lying. They're hoping that the rest of the world buy into this bullshit. They know America will never accept this lie, and they know some other countries will never accept this lie. But they have their Benjamin Crumps out there in Africa. The people who support this, the countries who are supporting this for percentage. Yeah, we'll go with this lie. Just break us off. If you get paid, we want 20%. Now we'll support this lie, this finesse. Now y'all definitely finessing. Y'all definitely lying. But give us 25%, man. We'll sign off to this shit, man. That's what's going on.
Famous bronze sculptures, works of arts so precise and so advanced that European archaeologists initially refused to believe Africans had made them. In addition to that, the Oba of Benin was exiled for banning slave trade. So Benin was not punished because it was dangerous. It was punished because it said no. Now, those bronze are
Benin was punished because it said no.
Still in European museum as we speak. The British Museum has over 900 of them. And Benin is still asking for them back. Now, the story of African...
Wait, what that got to do with us? Yo, you just said some 19... Wait a minute. Bro, what? You see how they could... Okay. So, family, what he's talking about now has nothing to do with slavery. But he's tying that into the slavery, narrative. Dude, that is totally something different. Dude, like, if they took your stuff, you got to go take it back. That's war now. That ain't got nothing to do with slavery, my guy.
Positivity that Africans simply handed their people over required erasing all of this. The kingdoms that resisted had to be destroyed, then forgotten for the narrative hold. Now let's go back even further, because this is where Africans sold their own argument.
Okay, you see the quotation. Now listen to this shitty argument. How the white man really just came over there with a net.
It picks up its own piece of actual historical weight, and where it also completely collapsed. Now, before Europe controlled the Atlantic, there was a transatlantic slave system. Arab and Moroccan traders have been moving enslaved Africans across the Sahara for centuries. Documented, real, brutal. In the late 1500s, the Moroccan Saadi dynasty invaded the Songhai Empire. That's modern-day Niger and Mali. The same region that gave the world Mansa Musa, the richest individual in recorded human history. Now, the Moroccans marched in, looted the gold, and fed captives into their existing slave networks. Now, the people who use this to say Africans sold their own point out that Morocco is in Africa. Technically true, but the Moroccan army that sacked Songhai was largely composed of Andalusian and Iberian soldiers, men of mixed Arab, Berber, and Iberian descent.
Oh my God. Now Tiputu is, oh, come on, dude. All right. I can't stomach that. Let's go a little up.
Of invasion, conquest, coercion, and imperial violence, and turning it into a forward excuse to avoid a conversation about money. Now, one more thing before we get to what this all means today. The word slave, where does it come from?
Oh my God, dude, are we doing this now? See, really, there was no... You see, so there's really no African slaves, really. Because at that time, nobody was speaking English, you dig? And they were just speaking African dialect or Portuguese, Spanish. So there was really technically no slaves at that time, because the word slave etymologically is an English word, and English ain't come into play. Oh my God, we're not gonna do this, man. Are we? See, that is a word from Slovenia, right? So that's actually a Russian word. So if there's any slaves, they got to be Russian descent, or you don't qualify as a slave. Oh, bro. No, not the plebiscite babble on the words. Come on, dude. Oh my God, he's gonna break down how slave. No, dude. Look, I told you. Look, Eastern Europeans. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. No. No, my God. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. So one more time.
No. Stop the cap.
Slave technically applies to just Eastern Europeans. So the only slaves were white people. There's no such thing as an African slave. Oh, okay. All right, buddy. I'm not going to listen to that bullshit. I'm definitely not interested in that plebiscite babble.
Were the people being enslaved at the time. Africans weren't the original reference point. The system existed before it reached Africa. It found Africa.
Oh my God. The slavery found Africa is scaled up.
Scaled up in Africa. It extracted from Africa at a level that reshaped the entire continent's population, economy, and political structure for generations. And then, when it was over, someone said Africans sold their own.
Oh my God. Someone said, I said it. Black Americans said it. Shit, the Caribbean said it with CARICOM. That's history, man. History said it, my guy. Nobody controls history. History said it. We know you did. You said it. What's this? December 17, 1951. We charged genocide petition submitted to the United Nations. All right. This is time periods 1945, 1960. What's this about? I got this from George Makin. Okay. So it says, to the best of our knowledge, the two women accompanying Paul Robeson in the photo are Roselle McGee, the widow of Willie McGee, who was executed in 1951 in Mississippi after being convicted of RAPE by an all-white jury, and Josephine Grayson, the widow of Francis Grayson, who was executed in 1951 in Virginia after being convicted by an all-white jury. By Civil Rights Movement Archive, on December 17, 1951, Paul Robeson and William Patterson submitted a petition from the Civil Rights Congress, CRC, to the United Nations titled, "We Charge Genocide, the Crime of Government Against the Negro People." The petition was signed by almost 100 U.S. intellectuals and activists. Robeson led a delegation to present the document at UN headquarters to New York, while CRC Secretary Patterson delivered it to a UN meeting in Paris. W. Du Bois was scheduled to accompany Patterson to Paris, but the U.S. State Department prevented him from leaving the country. The book-length petition documented hundreds of lynching cases and other forms of brutality and discrimination, evincing a clear pattern of government inaction and complicity. It charged that in the 85 years since the end of slavery, more than 10,000 Black Americans were known to have been lynched, an average of more than 100 per year, and that the full number can never be known because the murders often were unreported. The petition cited the UN's definition of genocide and the intent to destroy in whole or in part at national, racial, or religious groups in genocide. The petition concluded, therefore, that the oppressed Negro citizens of the United States segregated discrimination against the target of violence, suffer from genocide as the result of the consistent, conscious, unified policies of every branch of government. If the General Assembly acts as the conscience of mankind and therefore acts favorably on our petition, it will have served the cause of peace. Okay. It's a long read. I thought that was going to be a quick one. All right, let's get back to his lying-ass dude. So he is going to frame the whole Africans sold their own. This is a European mythology, rhetoric. That's where he's going.
And somehow that became the thing people remember. Now, let's talk about why that sentence keeps surviving. After the American Civil War, the US government made a promise to free enslaved people. 40 acres and a mole. Land, real economic footing after 250 years of stolen labor. President Andrew Johnson revoked it. The land went back to former Confederate owners, and in the quiet policy conversations that justified that reversal, the same logic reappeared. Enslaved people were not simply innocent victims. There was complexity. Some had been sold by their own people. Same sentence since 1865. It showed up again when
So in other words, family, let me cut to the chase. If you repeat the phrase, Africans sold their own people, you are a white supremacist, right? That's what he's saying. Like he's saying this is white supremacy's rhetoric, and if you repeat that, you're a white supremacist. Like you're with the colonizer. You're with the slave. That's where we're going. Okay, he's saying this is a lie. Africans never sold their own people. This is a white supremacy talking point. And if you say that today, then you are using the talking points of white supremacists. You are MAGA. That's where. Come on, dude, stop, man.
Reparations were discussed in Congress in the 1990s, and again after the murder of George Floyd reopened the wealth gap conversation in America. Every single time Black Americans or Africans get closer to a real conversation about economic restitution, that sentence walks in and takes a seat. It was not born from history, it was born from a need to stop reparations. And it has been...
Dude, what the hell are you talking about, man?
Doing that same job for over 150 years. Which brings us back to New York, March 2026. 123 countries just said this was a crime, not a tragedy, not a shared historical complexity, a crime with perpetrators, and crimes have consequences.
Yeah, you, dude, you're the criminal of the crime.
Now, Europe understood exactly what that means. The US understood. That's why they voted the way they did. A non-binding resolution doesn't move money today, but it shifts the moral and legal ground underneath the entire reparations debate. International courts cite UN resolutions. Domestic lawsuits reference them. Treaty negotiations invoke them. The architecture of international law is built one vote at a time. And this is the part that should make you stop and think. The same European governments that once financed the slave trade, that built the ships.
Dude, you didn't build the ship. Look, the ships were built and they had no products in the ship. Okay, they had no people and they had no human cargo in the ships. You provided the human cargo. The ships would have been a lost investment. They would have been like the Garvey ships had you not given them people to put in the ships. Those ships would have had the same fate as Garvey ships had you not supplied them with people, human cargo, human products. Okay, just because they built it, it don't mean it has to come. You dig? If you build it, it would come. That statement would have been false had you not complied voluntarily and willingly. You thought you were going to benefit. You thought you were relieving yourself of humans that you didn't need. You didn't find them valuable. You felt like, what do these white people want with these niggas? What do they expect to get out of these lazy niggas? They want to give us guns, drugs, and alcohol for these lazy niggas? Okay. Hey, huh? Yeah, that's a lady talking to me. So, yeah, what would you want these lazy niggas? They want these lazy niggas for money and drugs and alcohol. Give them to them, textiles. Give them these lazy niggas. We're about to be rich. We're about to be rich. We're about to be rich. We're going to take over the world with this money. 300 years later. Oh, shit. They're back. They're mightier. They're mightier than those niggas trailers. They built them up. They made them superpowers. They come to divide us. Every name was in it was borders. Oh no. Those niggas are shit this. Like, okay. Stop. Stop.
Wrote the insurance policies and designed the legal systems that made it all run are the same governments that now structure African economies through the IMF and World Bank.
I think my microphone was on mute. So once again, his framing implies Africans were manipulated, coerced, and they were powerless. Europeans were the sole drivers. They were just so powerful. Their aura just made the African bow down as soon as they seen the angelic creatures, right? They just bowed down like they do today. Family, that's very dangerous because it strips Africa of political agency, economic decision making, and accountability. All right. You can't say African had kingdoms, armies, and trade networks. You cannot say that and brag about Africa like some neutral, powerful people who had it lit, had it going on, had it popping. And then suddenly they had no agency when it comes to slave trade. That's inconsistent. They all do that. They all talk about how rich and powerful they were. They had ships that sailed across the world. But now when it comes to accountability, they had no ships. No, they had no armies. No, they were weak and wicked and not. Stop. So what they all do, they all redefine the argument to protect their reparations logic. Okay. He says if Africans were equal partners, reparations makes no sense. So what does he do? Right? By saying that. He minimizes African involvement to protect the moral clarity of reparations. This is a finesse, a disgusting finesse that no person that has lineage to America should be siding with, right? You're selling out your lineage when you let this go on. When you act like this makes sense. If Africa shares responsibility, then for them, the reparations arguments get more complicated. So he frame it, and mostly all of them will frame it as it was a Europe system and Africa was coerced participants, right? They were dumb and white folks just brainwashed them and made them willing participants. Okay. Africa had no role. Like they'll just flat out say this right here, right? Okay. So all that he wants to just say this right here. Let me tell you what he really just want to say. He want to repeat after his renowned historian. He just want to say this right here.
Who needed some labor. Now that the Portuguese are there, he hired some of the Portuguese to take these Africans from one part of Africa and another. Now the European is interpreting this as meaning the African was in the slave trade. The African was not in the slave trade.
That's all he just want to say. Right. So he's going to beat you down with a whole bunch of excuses, but he really just want to say that. He really just want to say Africans had no involvement in the slave trade. That is a renowned historian in the Pan-African circles. Okay. So Europe created and scaled a global racialized system. Africa had regional participants and resistors. Some African elites profited and participated knowingly. They were not coerced. All right. So both can be true at the same time, and both were true at the same time. So what he's doing and what they all do is shift from history into narrative control. He admits Africans sold people, but then he minimizes it by saying they didn't design the system or they were forced to sell people. Okay. My guy, that's not how responsibility works, and that's not how accountability works. Okay. Africans didn't build the Atlantic slave system. That's what they're going to argue. But some absolutely participated in it. They profited from it and made political decisions within it. So you can't highlight resistance like Queen Nzinga and ignore participation like Queen Nzinga and the Dahomey tribes. Dude, you're not being historically correct. So all of what we said was true. Europeans had their role, African had their role. Okay. And we're not going to remove one side out. That's propaganda. Okay. So he's not totally denying Africa's role like John Henry Clark, but he's shrinking it damn near to non-existent to protect the reparations narrative. Okay. He ain't by himself though. So he this is the modern Queen Nzinga right here. This is the Dr. Queen Nzinga. Okay, so she ain't gonna act like he's a liar too much. She's gonna corroborate some of his stuff by himself though. Hold on, get my echo. So echo's going. What's up, family? Big Chief Toilet Paper. I don't know what that name. That's like a troll name. Click the link. Big Chief Toilet Paper. Let me see what you're talking about. Let's see if you're in here trolling or not. Right there. That's for Big Chief. All right. So real quick, let me go here. They keep resetting my damn timestamps, man. It's getting annoying.
And they were part of the ethnogenesis of what blackness is. Who's running it or whatever. Yeah. So it's all infiltrated now. So I'm not a part of that. And yeah, we ain't a part of that. We're just not a part of it.
At the of, you in our community.
My argument is that there was an ethnogenesis. So we became a whole different ethnic group outside of that. All right. Okay. So we're not continental Africans, nor are we Cherokee or part of the current tribes. We're not a part of none of those current tribes, and we damn sure ain't part of no African tribe. We are a brand new ethnic group. So that's my whole argument. All right?
Well, thank you. I wasn't trying to attack you, and thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. All right. Now listen, some of the people in here, if you say you part of a Creek Indian tribe right now, go be a part of that Creek Indian tribe. What's the argument? Just go be a Creek then. Yeah, my family, most of them, going back to the 1800s, they were Negro, colored, free people of color, black, and they were part of the ethnogenesis of what blackness is, the culture, the music, the food, the style, the slang, the language. That's where my family is. They're foundational Black Americans.
What's up, brother?
And that's the thing. What partially makes you a foundational Black American is a combination of the genetics from Africa and the genetics from here. It's a combination. Yeah, I don't say that I don't have African genetics. Yeah, I got African genetics because we were all mixed up on the plantation. We were mixed up on the plantation. So yeah, we got African and indigenous genetics, but I'm not a continental African. You see? It's not rocket science. It is not rocket science. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Chief? What's going on?
What's up, brother?
What's going on with you? No, I don't care about that. I just want to know what you got going on and how can you add to the conversation.
Well, I just popped in, man. I just got in. I see you've been live for about an hour or some change. I quit your live yesterday, and I think it was masterful. I'm FBA. The reason my name is Big Chief is it comes from BG. You remember the Hot Boys, man? Ziggler, Wiggler, Big Chief, toilet paper. You know what I'm saying? You don't remember that? That's from Big Timers and stuff like that. Hot Boys.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm FBA through and through, both sides, from Miami, Florida. You know what I'm saying? 305. But you know, I'm just kicking it with you. And I was just saying in the chat, man, I need to get wrenched up, man. I don't want to be in the mix.
All right, so what do you think about
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so what's your thoughts on this Ghana trying to hijack reparations? That plus they're acting like they had no role or little role in.
I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting, and that's why they got hit with that flood today. And I'm not mad about that. That's the ancestors taking care of us, and people don't understand. See, I be shout out to Black Alpha Network, man, because you know he coined the term ABK, anti-Black karma, and that's what a lot of these people are experiencing, and what they're gonna continue to experience after when they keep messing. I almost cursed off.
Yeah, that is funny as hell. ABK. Oh, I'm gonna use that. Yeah, that's ABK.
Somebody ghost that one of us, try to clown us in the media, from Charlie K to all the way up to now, and
oh my God,
all these people experiencing their anti-Black karma, that ABK baby, yeah. So you know, that's my thoughts on it. I think what they're doing, coming over here trying to hijack, you know, and dilute our reparations movement, which has nothing to do with no type of we have a grievance, an economic grievance against the U.S. government. I don't know what their grievances is. They talking about arms and all of this racism and all of that. That's cool, but that's not our fight. We have an economic fight against the U.S. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm just tapping in with you, bro, and I'll mess with your channel heavy. Stay on Queen Nzinga bumper.
Oh yeah.
I can't stand
oh
her.
yeah.
Ooh,
I hate that.
She hate us. She hate us, bro. I could feel it in her heart.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that is a devil, man.
Devil. I know when somebody hate me, bro, and she hate us. She hate the lineage. Is she FBA?
Yeah, she claims she is. But her allegiance, yeah, it's something funny about her but her allegiance is solely African. You know, but a lot of people like that, she might have a lover that's African. You dig? A lot of times, like they be on it. They be proximity tethering.
Yeah, on that type of hype. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? I think I subbed up to your channel, man. I think you one of the most informative and best channels.
I appreciate
that with the angles and the stories that you bring to us, man. And I just really I watched your channel one other time, but yesterday, man, it was just something about, maybe it was just the timing. And you know, I was rocking the whole day, and it was cool as hell, man. You dropped a lot of stuff, man. That book she was reading yesterday. Ooh,
yeah.
My goodness.
Oh my God, bro. They wrote a whole book about us, man.
Oh, weird, my dude. And I had my hand balled up, like, man, I'm ready to slap one of these people. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Right. And they so invested in us, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so glad that she put that. And I went to her channel and I watched some of that broadcast for myself. I couldn't believe it. I had to go to her channel myself. You see what I'm saying? And I can't believe Tariq be rocking with her. Tariq got to stop that. All this diplomatic stuff. Nah, man. Stuff, listen, it's time for us to pick and choose a side. Okay. It's no longer where you can't pick a side. You're gonna have to either be, you know, for delineation and reparations, which is our movement, or you're gonna have to be a panty. We can't be both. These panties can't be on them because we clearly see they have so much anti-Black American hatred and vitriol towards us. They never give us the hand and saying, okay, it's both sides. At least say it's both sides, which is not. But they just go straight.
Yeah, but they don't even do that. They say that they'll say diaspora wars, but then they'll only talk about one side. It's like, wait a minute, what about the other side?
You know, they lock straight on FBA neck. Like, nah, that's not how that goes. If it's a fight, I mean, there's two people rocking and rumbling, not just one person fighting itself. And let me say this one last thing: Ghana trying to trying to dilute our reparations movement, and them trying to pull a quick move and pull a rug from under our feet. I think it's disgusting. But I think they got their ABK today. Was that flood? Did that happen like today? Was that during the last 24 hours?
Which one? The flood. I'm not sure. You brought that to me. That's news to me.
There's a flood in Ghana. I believe that happened in the last 24. I want to be sure, but it was on my timeline. And but I hope that was in the last 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours. I'm not even gonna lie. That's how I feel. That's my personal opinion. Yes.
ABK.
Yeah. Don't you come for our people, and what you're doing is you're trying to sink your teeth into us, and that ultimately results in our death. So if you come for us, we come for you. There's your ABK, your anti-Black karma. Shout out to Black Alpha Network, and I land right there, brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate the inspiring words. Yes, sir.
Road, man. So,
appreciate it.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish cooking on Dr. Queen Nzinga.
I appreciate you, and I'm rocking out with you, bro. I'm here.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you. Yes, sir, man. It's time to get the information out there. Like I said, he's right. I'm coming with angles. Yeah, everybody got their own angle, and I got mine. It's time for my angle to be heard by the masses. Like, well, 100 people come over here. It should be 1.5 hearing this angle because it's compromising, it's unapologetic. You see me, whoever is against us, I'm on them. Ain't no friendship with anybody against us. I got no friends with nobody who's talking filthy about the lineage. Okay, if we were cool, we ain't cool no more. You see, I make that very clear. You see panelists come on here that I'm cool with, and once they start to cape for some Pan-African elders that's disrespecting us, to me they chose a side. Like they chose that over us. So I'm like, all right, well, shit, stay over there then. And then guess what? The next day he was over there. He was over there with the Pan-Africans. All right, dude, just say that. Just say, yo, you want to get back in there, they won't let you in. They blackballed you. He actually said that. But just say you want to get back in there and they won't let you in there. They won't let you in. So you came over here to cosplay for a little while. And then you came to, then you came back over there. They let you in finally. And okay, you good now. But leave our spaces alone, man. All right. So let me go. What was it? Okay, let's go back here. Yeah, I'm really waiting for it. I'm waiting for Tariq. I might have to, I'm gonna be live for a little while, but he chose 2:00 to do the Garvey thing. Oh my God, I wanted that to be the first 9 a.m. I wanted that to be the 9 a.m. one, because y'all know, man, Garvey is that's my thing. I'm an expert on Garvey when it comes to pointing out the inaccuracies of his story and what really happened that's omitted from the public, the scamming and the deception, and is what I like to expose. So hopefully Tariq Nasheed looked at some of my content, he can repeat some of the things that I had uncovered, and that'd be beautiful. If not, we're gonna play what he says and we're gonna play what I got. But either way, it's gonna be complete. So we got some mad people out there. Again, stop supporting these people channels, man. Right? When they type in FBA ADOS, they're getting the most views ever, and it ain't Tethers pulling up. It ain't Pan-Africans pulling up to make their views go crazy. It's you guys. You're off code because you're incentivizing them to keep doing it, to keep saying we're a hate group, we're xenophobic. And if you allow that message to keep going, then nobody's ever going to mention FBA publicly again. Okay, you're allowing them to frame the narrative that we're a hate group because their voices are starting to get there with ours. Right now, we're like heavens above them as far as like narrative control. But you're validating their channels. Like the more you watch it, the more their channels starting to be in suggestion feeds. Like I see a couple in mine. I'm like, I'm like, yeah, what's up? Like, why these Pan-African are all of a sudden in my suggestion feed when that was never the case? Then I go over and look at it. I see you guys in there. Like, yo, leave these, let their channels die out, man. The only voice that should be speaking about FBAs that's powerful should be FBAs. So I see a guy that's trying to get ahead of Tariq Nasheed. He got a video where he's gonna talk about Garvey and Tariq's wrong, and like, dude, stop. Listen. And the last time he did that, I was in there. I said, yo, ask, and look, I was in there for the right reason because I got my question answered about Garvey. And the guy was like, how about, like he didn't want to answer it. I said, ask the guy about the stock sales, and was he qualified to sell stocks at that time? So he asked the guy the question and the guy ain't know. He kind of fumbled the bag. So, that's what I do. Like, hey, man, why don't you ask this question right here? Because you're lying to the people, your own people. Here, hold this right here. And a sister called up exposing them. I got that audio. But yeah, man, let their channels die, man. I'm looking at their views. They got no views until they say FBA and ADOS, Tariq, and now they got a gazillion views. It's because you guys are validating them and incentivizing them to keep saying Tariq Nasheed and FBA and being disrespectful. Because the dude is terribly disrespectful. Matter of fact, he's down with this woman right here. Look how disgusting she is. Well, disrespectful.
On March the 25th, I believe. I see Sister Juju's in the building. Shout out to Sister Juju. Shout out to the pseudo killers. I believe it was on March the 25th of this year. It was literally last week. And Ghana led a resolution. Shout out to Ghana. Some of you all are mad. and you know who those some people are. You are mad that God.
Okay, so she's making that clear. And those some people are UFBAs. Tariq Nasheed. All of you are mad. And I ain't gonna say your name, Tariq Nasheed, but it's Tariq Nasheed that's mad. That's where she's coming from. Like, whatever, dude. I'm choosing Africa. To hell with the HC6, and she should be taken out. Like, this energy, like nobody wants this energy tied to our project.
Ghana put forth a resolution, family, to declare the trafficking of enslaved Africans and racialized chattel enslavement of Africans as the gravest crime against humanity. All right. And if you look at some of these articles on the internet, a lot of them are removing the word gravis. I saw some of the journalists removing that word gravis. Even I was kind of shocked. I shouldn't have been shocked. Roland Martin, if you go back and created a unique culture on this land, and we have a unique history on this land. We're clear. So when we say African, we're not saying continental African, because when we use that word African, it's all encompassing. We're saying the African world. So it does.
Okay, now you hear what she's saying right now. When we say African, now all of a sudden it makes sense to call Foundation Black Americans African. But a minute ago, she said it didn't make sense. Listen, I want you to hear this out, the double talk.
Doesn't matter whether you're clear on that. We've created a unique culture on this land, and we have a unique history on this land. We're clear. So when we say African, we're not saying continental African, because when we use that word African, it's all encompassing. We're saying the African world. So it doesn't matter whether you're on the continent, in the UK, in Europe, Australia, South Africa, the Caribbean, the North America, Canada. When we say that, it's all inclusive of all African nations, all African ethnicities. That's what we're saying when we call ourselves African. We're clear that we're not continental African. So I don't know where you all are getting this foolishness from.
We're getting it from you. You dig? Look what you said not too long ago. We got it from you, double talker. Look what you said not too long ago about being called African. How it's vague and is not specific. Look what you said about being called African. Okay. Now all of a sudden you're clear.
A broad cultural, ethnic, and racial identity for people of African descent in the U.S. Okay, so you can get to the U.S. and you be classified as an African American, no matter where you come from, right? Caribbean and Washington. Okay, so you can get to the U.S. and you be classified as an African American, no matter where you come from, right? Caribbean and Washington.
I want to interject really quickly, Unc. This is why when you and I talk, I say, Unc, you don't think we should throw the term African American away? No, we shouldn't throw it away. I say, Unc, it is not specific to our lineage here in America.
It's not specific to our lineage here in America.
Anybody that comes over here who is of African descent can claim to be an African American. This is why I said I do believe that we should have a name that is specifically for us, that other Black immigrants cannot come into the country and hijack. And
I do believe that we should have a name that is specifically for us, that other Black immigrants cannot come into the country.
That other Black immigrants can't come into the country and do what?
And hijack.
But you just did that. You just tied us to the word African. That is a name that other immigrants can come and hijack, my guy.
You were like, no, African American, they know who's who, and you went through all that.
Okay, so it's you. We got that from you. You're not consistent in your rhetoric and lies.
That we think we continental Africans. I don't think. And then another thing you all say, which is getting to me too. Oh, Dr. Mahat, y'all don't even want to admit that they was complicit. Y'all romanticize Africa. No, we don't.
Yes, you do.
No, we don't.
Yes, you do.
There's nobody. We ain't over here romanticizing
hey,
no
yo,
damn
look
Africa.
How. Yeah, look at the energy she's coming with. She is angry. She's not happy that Ghana did the reparations thing. Like, yes, now some tethers out there from Africa. They're actually happy. They're genuinely happy that Ghana's trying to finesse reparations. She's not happy because we didn't buy into it. She thought Black Americans were like, yes, reparations is the topic. No, we said, hell no, Ghana. What you doing? Step back. Like the internet, Black America went crazy on Ghana. She's angry. She thought that was going to fly. She thought she'd get more students at her African-centered schools. She thought she would sell more cartoons to Africans. Nope. Nope. And look at the energy she's bringing to this live. That we said, hell no, we ain't falling for that finesse.
On the issues that are over in Africa, especially some of us who go back and forth to the continent, we're clear on those issues. Y'all don't want to speak up and indict those Africans who talk about Black Americans. Y'all don't. Yes, we do. We have those conversations.
When? Where? What video? Why don't you point out the video where you have those conversations? You don't have those conversations. Your conversations are condemning FBAs, like the brother called in, Big Chief. You claim there's a back and forth, but you only address one side, and it's FBAs. Okay. So, go ahead.
You just tuned into other platforms where instead of having the conversations and say you want to bash, and like I said, if you hate Africa, just say that. We don't have to play the game.
And if you hate Black Americans, just say it.
Say that. And if you hate being African, just say that too.
And if you hate being Black American, you say that too. Just say, I wish I could change my life and be a continental African. Just say that. We ain't got to play the games. As a matter of fact, some of us questioning your lineage. Like, you just might be that.
That's all. A lot of y'all, want to be white. I mean, y'all think y'all white Americans. That's what a lot of y'all
Here we go. Okay.
Y'all think y'all white people.
Right. So we know we're not African and we say it loud and proud. So by default, we want to be white people.
Y'all want to be white people. You think you white and you want to be white. That's what's wrong with a lot of you. You think you think you white and you want to be white. So you've been so far removed, you don't even know who you are anymore. You out of your damn African mind at this damn.
There we go. We don't know. I told you. She was just talking about, hey man, we're FBA, we're ADOS, we're freedmen. Now we're out of our African mind because we don't want to be African. She's saying. Who who gave that script? Sis, who wrote you that check? Like, just be honest. Who is writing the checks? Who is giving you promises?
Point. Anyway, family. Let's get to the resolution. Family. Let's get to the resolution. I'm gonna put my glasses on. Once your girl hit 40, my eyes started decaying on me. My eyes started decaying, and I was fighting, family. I ain't gonna lie. I was fighting. I said, you don't want to buy.
Okay, all right, whatever. So she says Pan-Africanists like herself are not claiming Black Americans are continental Africans in a direct present day sense, right? And that African is meant in an all encompassing global sense, she says. She also says Black Americans clearly created a unique culture in America, right? She's saying a whole bunch of stuff. But she also talks as if critics, Foundation Black Americans, are just confused and foolish, right? Rather than recognizing that many of us object because African can be used politically to blur ethnogenesis, national origin, legal injury, reparation standing, everything she just agreed with a couple months ago. This year, by the way. Okay, so that concern from us is not foolish, it's strategic. The issue is not whether we descend from Africa in some broad civilizational sense. That's not the issue. The issue is whether broad African language can blur a specific U.S. historical injury tied to chattel slavery, Jim Crow, exclusion from wealth building, and federal state policy, which you agreed to before. That's a legal and political concern. It's not confusion. Okay. Then she says, if you hate Africa, just say it. All this stupid stuff. She's ad hominems, mind reading, identity shaming, poisoning the well, all that type of stuff. Okay, so no, we got the right to question Ghana's intention, right? Because these are people, this is a country, this is a region known to have sold us to white people. Okay, so now she's going to go into the argument how we're slow, we're retarded, they do that stuff.
Actually read the entire resolution. But if you look at it, United Nations General Assembly, district, it says limited. Look at this, 17th of March. So I guess it was drafted original in English. Okay, 80th session. So this was the 80th session. Agenda item 119, commemoration of the abolition of slavery in the transatlantic slave trade. And so then I saw people online, they name us. They ain't you name the United States. Look at all those names on there, Algeria and Angola and Barbados. They ain't name us. You got to scroll down to the bottom of the page where you see the asterisk, okay? In academia, we call those footnotes, okay? And so if you see the asterisk right there, it says any changes to the list of sponsors will be reflected in the official record of the meeting. So the countries that are listed here are countries that help to sponsor this. Okay, so some of you all are just throwing out, you just saying stuff. They named Capo Verde, Cameroon, Central Africa, Chad, and they did all that, but they name us. They taking our reparations. No, it's the sponsors. Okay, see, that's why it's important. You all talk about school. It's important to stay in school. Okay, some of y'all talk about school and getting education. You should have stayed. You should have finished the 12th grade. All right. So the title of this is Declaration of the Trafficking of Enslaved Africans. Okay, declaration. So they're declaring. So it's a declaration of the trafficking of enslaved Africans. Why wouldn't a country like Ghana not be able to speak to this when you had a lot of enslaved Africans who were taken from the damn Gold Coast, right? So they have every right to speak to this. So it says in racialized
well, I mean, technically, the way you're framing it, that could be seen as one-sided moral positioning. If you don't also acknowledge that some African polities in those regions participated in capture and sell, and that we Black Americans may reasonably object to being spoken for rather than being spoken with. So they're speaking for us. We don't want that. That's like white people taking the lead on reparations and speaking for us. No. If anything, you're going to speak with us or you're going to repeat or strengthen our talking points. So the problem was never about Ghana speaking. She's gaslighting. The problem is when solidarity becomes substitution, right? We believe they're substituting us for themselves. Okay, so Ghana, they did sell us, so they could speak about slavery. Who's more qualified than them? They're the sellers. White folks are the buyers. They're qualified to speak about slavery, and we were the sold. You dig? And we were the bought, and we're qualified. But that doesn't mean Ghana has the right to define the entire reparations frame for Black Americans our injury developed under U.S. law and U.S. institutions. That's the problem, ma'am. Okay. But she's being, as you can see, she's being extremely insensitive when it comes to Black Americans and our concerns about a slave seller speaking on reparations on our behalf or at all. And we're looking at this like, nah, you're not a trusted source.
2007. See, so some of y'all so busy on the damn internet. Let me read the dates. Recalling also its resolutions. Let me read. Let's do the dates, because some of you are so busy on the internet and you don't read, so you didn't know that all this stuff has been going on for decades.
Yeah, we don't read, but this fake scholar is the reader. Now, by the way, her doctorate degree is in engineering. It's not in history. You dig? So we're on the same level. Actually, I'm a little above because I have more credibility than her. She's caught lying and minimizing history while I tell it straightforward. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Decades, you're clueless. So it says, recalling also its resolutions 2142 of the 26th October 1966, in which it proclaimed the 21st of March as the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. All right, 61/19 of 28 November 2006, which it designated 25th of March 2007 as the International Day for the commemoration of the 200th anniversary of the abolition of the transatlantic slave trade. 62/122 of 17 December 2007, in which it designated 25 March as the International Day of Remembrance of the victims of slavery in the transatlantic slave trade. 75 out of 170 of its profile in many states. Okay, so they're saying a lot of people, they don't really know, okay, about, in some people, 400 years. Yeah, if you think about it, I mean, the Portuguese got into West Africa, we looking at, and they're talking about the transatlantic slave trade. They're not talking about the Trans-Sahara. So let's be clear, because some of y'all say, well, Dr. Meyer, we can go back to the Arabs. We absolutely can. But this document is about the transatlantic slave trade. And yet, African Unity, Abjua, Proclamation on Reparations for African Enslavement, Colonization, and Neo-Colonialism of 1993, and the African Union Assembly. Wait a minute, they not practicing Pan-Africanism, Doc. They not practicing Pan-Africanism. The African Union Assembly decision 934 of 16th of February 2025 on the qualification of slavery, deportation, and colonization as crimes against humanity and genocide against the people of Africa, which collectively consider slavery and colonization as serious violations of human dignity, and affirm the continental commitment. Hold up. The continental commitment to the recognition of these historical. Wait a minute. I gotta read that again. It says, and affirm the continental commitment to the recognition of these historical injustices. Doc, they sold us. Ain't nobody think about us over here. They sold us. Nobody ever came and got us. They not thinking about us. To affirm the continental. See, this is what happens when you listen to internet personalities.
She's talking about Tariq Nasheed, by the way. Internet. Okay. All of these people, when they address us, they truly believe that we're being led and guided by Tariq Nasheed. They believe if he's out of the way, that her rhetoric would now make sense to us. We would now be on board with Pan-Africanism. They all feel like Tariq Nasheed is in the way of us embracing Pan-Africanism. They really believe he's the leader, he's the cult leader, he's brainwashing us. So that's why they keep attacking him. Yeah, you keep following this guy. If he's out the way, you'll see all this makes sense, but you keep listening to him. Okay, so just now she pointed out African Union proclamations, reparations, declarations, and a continental commitment, right? And then she mocks the idea that Africa is not thinking about Black people, Black Americans, and the resolution does reference OAU, AU positions and Agenda 2063. But here's the problem with this, Dr. Queen Nzinga. That is a non sequitur, right? The existence of AU documents does not automatically answer Black Americans our concerns about prioritization, actual resource commitments, whether African states historically centered diaspora descendants of U.S. Chattel slavery, whether their current framing serves their own geopolitical interests. That does not answer that. Those documents, those pre-existing documents, does not answer those concerns. That's a non sequitur. She knows that. But again, a lot of these people think we're dumb. They really believe their rhetoric. They think we're dumb. We don't read. We can't understand truth from falsehood. So they could just say whatever they want to say. And if they say it sternly and with the gift of gab, somehow it'll resonate with us and we'll believe that. All right. Because by the way, that's how they believe we follow Tariq Nasheed. We believe we're dumb. We don't read. So whatever he says, we just go along with it as long as it sounds smooth. So if they just do the same thing, right, we'll go along with that. We'll just be confused who's right or wrong. But they really believe that we're dumb. When they say that, they're not playing. They really believe we don't read. So take them by, So the bottom line, Queen Nzinga, Dr. Queen Nzinga, is that a press statement, declaration, or AU framework is not the same thing as Africa having historically centered us, Black Americans. Specific reparations claim, right? They have never historically centered our specific reparations claim that's uniquely just for us, not them. So instructional language is not the same as political sacrifice. They never done that. So she says, we don't think, we just feel and believe. Okay. She says that we don't think critically. We just feel and believe, and we repeat what other internet personalities say without due diligence. And that personality will be Tariq Nasheed. Again, her rhetoric is more dismissive than analytical, but she's supposed to be the educator, right? It may be true for some people. Some people may not read. All right. Some people may read, but she smears that on the entire lineage, or at least people who disagrees with Ghana's approach or questions Ghana's approach. She say all of us don't read. We don't think. We just believe and feel. So she used that to pathologize disagreement, right? Sounds like scientific racism, like the white people. The white people did the same thing. When we didn't go along with white supremacy, when we started to buck up against the system, they start to diagnose us as things during the scientific racism period. Now you're having these Pan-Africans, these tethers, doing the same thing. We don't agree with them, so we must be stupid. We must be lazy. They got a diagnosis with something. So now she want to pathologize us. Okay, whatever. Now, and she's framing it as she's the thinker, right? And we are the feelers, the emotional people. That is very, very condescending, and the more the reason why she should not be on HC6. So this is for you, Queen Nzinga. I know you're listening, Dr. Queen Nzinga. I know your group is listening. You don't prove somebody wrong by declaring yourself as the ultimate thinker and we are the ultimate fillers. That is intellectual verity, not argument. Okay, but you're the scholar, right? You're the one with the degrees. You're supposed to know this. We don't read. We don't know this stuff, right? But you got the bad faith positions. We don't.
Including those inflicted by slavery and colonialism, and recognizing the Caribbean community 10-point plan for reparatory justice. Taking note of the designation of the African Union of 2025 as the year of justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations. So, yo, they try to steal our reparations. Fool, this stuff been going on. The whole world been talking about reparations. You just heard about it because your favorite YouTube personalities been talking about it. This been talking about it. Dr. Saul, get Jabari on here. Get Jabari on here, and let's talk about all the work that he was doing, how they were doing it in the 90s. Dr. Khalid Muhammad and all of them. You got
doing what? Yelling at white people?
Queen Mother Moore and all of them. The stuff.
Yeah, no. We talked about Queen Mother Moore. We talked about Ollie Moore. We talked about her running to organization. No, we definitely read about Queen Ollie Moore. So, family, they say we don't read, they don't read. She's throwing out names that she think we don't know. Queen Nzinga, we covered Ollie Moore. She had a nothing burger. She was just running around. And look, she's critiquing us, saying we don't know what we're doing. We're questioning everything because we're believers. We're following a personality like Tariq Nasheed. But then she stamps Ollie Moore. I will challenge her right now to call in. And let's address Ollie Moore, her solely. Let's see if she knew what the hell she was doing when she was looking for reparations for, she believed, Foundation Black Americans. She was all over the place. Communist group, this group, LGBTQ, every group. You dig? She's part of biker gangs. She's joining every org. She had no sense of direction. She didn't know where to go. She joined all type of weirdos. Then she started a Ethiopian group, like, yo, for women. Like, yo, what that got to do with reparations? Yeah, so no. Wrong channel. We know about these people. We know about Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Dr. Khalid Muhammad was he was not known to promote reparations. He was not known to be educated on reparations. So no. I watched all his videos. I watched more than you. I bet that. I got a whole Facebook channel called dedicated to Dr. Khalid Muhammad and Malcolm X together. I got a whole YouTube channel where I uploaded all my videos I bought for physical videos I bought about Dr. Khalid Muhammad. So I know, and I just sell his videos in barbershops. So DJ Focus, my witness. So I know, and Rashan Ali, my witness. So I know you just lying. You just throwing out names, hoping we don't know these people because you really believe we don't research. I will cook you on everybody you just named. And anybody that knows you. The link is, put the link there again. Anybody challenge me on Ollie Moore? Oh shit. Come on, this thing going pretty fast. Yeah, so that's a non sequitur. Let me link back in there. I will cook her anybody she knows on the people she just named. She just throwing out names. Click that link if y'all want to talk about Dr. Khalid Muhammad or Ollie Moore. She called Queen Mother. Queen Mother, okay, because Ghana named her that. So she's the Queen Mother. Fuck out of here. No damn Queen Mother. She was wrong in her approach. She was all over the place, man. She was confused.
That Dr. Ray Wimbush and them, the stuff that they were doing. You all think that this
Wait. Hey, family, listen. If she's not an op, if you don't believe, if you're on the fence right now, if she's not an op, I'ma let her say that name again. You see, your name dropping, you dummy. We know I got the receipts, you fool. Say that name again. One more time.
And all of them. You got Queen Mother Moore and all of them.
Ollie Moore, a nothing burger. Who else?
That Dr. Ray Wimbush and them. The stuff that they
Dr. Ray Wimbush and them. What else?
Were doing. You all think that
the stuff they were doing.
Listen, people been talking about reparations all over the world.
People been talking about reparations all over the world. That dude, yeah, they were talking about it, but look what they were saying. What were they saying though? You devil, what were they saying about reparations? Let me play Dr. Raymond Wimbush for this dog. See, this is what happens when you throw out names and you think we don't know. Here you go. Now, this guy, look what it says. Dr. Ray Wimbush, right here. Listen to what he says about reparations, you fool. He argues for race-based reparations. He say lineage-based is a nothing burger, and it's the opposite. You can't get reparations based on race.
California Commission, I love what they wrote in their 400 or either 400 or 500 page document as a result of it. The problem I have with the California Commission is that it yielded to this idea of lineage-based reparations. There are this group, and you named the foundational Black Americans, as well as this group, ADOS, the American descendants of slaves, who believe that the only people entitled to reparations in this country are those who can trace their lineage directly to enslavement.
So look what his contention is. He disagrees with the only people who deserve reparations are the people who could trace their lineage to the harm. He disagrees with that. Look what he says.
There was a 5-4 vote to accept lineage-based reparations in the state of California on the commission. I disagree with that. I think that reparations should be race-based. I think that Black people in all of their walks of life, which is getting reparations for all African people.
You heard that? So he's with the Ghana thing. He said reparations in America should not belong to Black Americans solely. It should belong to all Africans globally. So what happened to us in America, not even the transatlantic slave trade, in America, he is saying that belongs to all African people globally. It's 1.5 billion Africans. If we were to be paid out, we will all probably get a damn near what's that called? COVID-19 check. What's that called? The check they were sending? Yeah, we would get $200 a piece. If they say, okay, we're gonna pay all of African descent people across the world, we'll get $200 a piece. This guy just argued for all Africans getting he said he disagrees. This is the Raymond Wimbush guy that she name dropped. He said he disagrees with lineage-based, only Black Americans getting reparations for what happened to them and their ancestors. He said all Africans should benefit to what happened to Black Americans, even the Africans who sold them.
As well as this group, ADOS, the American descendants of slaves, who believe that the only people entitled to reparations in this country are those who can trace their lineage directly to enslavement. There was a 5-4 vote to accept lineage-based reparations in the state of California on the commission. I disagree with that. I think that reparations should be race-based. I think that Black people in all of their walks of life, which is getting reparations for all African people on the thing. So,
yeah, this lineage-based reparations, which ADOS, and I understand they used another name in California.
The Freemen.
Okay, so these are the people she said was talking about reparations before us to dismiss us. You ain't doing nothing new. Tariq, man, if you don't get this chick off that damn documentary, bro.
Yeah, because that ADOS name is being discredited. The Freeman, my butt. So you're going to go on lineage-based reparations, which is designed to further the objective of ADOS and others that you have to be born here to get reparations. Well, what is?
Yeah. They are really, this is, you can't, I'll have no words for this type of hatred for Black Americans. They're not arguing with that against CARICOM. By the way, CARICOM saying the same thing for the people of the Caribbean. They saying that got to be, that's the CARICOM reparations is lineage based. You as a Black American, they as a Haitian, they as an African cannot reap the benefits from any money or resources that's awarded to the Caribbean through CARICOM. But Black Americans got to share their wealth.
Born here mean we all came from Africa or the Caribbean or somewhere else, but usually Africa and the Caribbean. So this is designed to exclude anyone that can't prove that they came from where. Because if you come from Africa, you didn't come from here. You know what I mean?
And furthermore, it also
included under your definition.
Right. Yeah. And it also divides Black people. Can you imagine one person who was born or mother was born in Jamaica and then they were born here in the United States, they don't get reparations. This whole lineage-based stuff is just confusing.
You heard that? So these are the people she name dropped. You see the name, Dr. Raymond Wimbush. Okay, these are the people she name dropped, hoping we don't know about Ollie Moore. You're done. You are officially canceled.
Were we?
Hold on.
Out when we were talking about the Bible.
All right, hold on. I had a technical difficulty for a second. Let me get it back because I knew it was going to reset to there. I knew that. I knew that. Come on. Expose. Name dropping people that are totally against reparations and were arguing it the wrong way, race-based. There was people arguing reparations before ADOS and FBA. So you guys ain't special? Yeah, but they were doing it wrong. That's why we're here. Tether's playing with the connection, man. Now, I didn't drop that bomb. The connection cut out. Hold on.
All of the African Union's Agenda 2063 for the restoration of Africa's place in history and the healing of its wounds, including those inflicted by slavery and colonialism, and recognizing the Caribbean community 10-point plan for reparatory justice. Taking note of the designation of the African Union of 2020.
Yeah, he said he had a whole Burger King crown on. They all wear those funny hats, and the 19 Z's hats.
As the year of justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations. So, they try to steal our reparations. Fool, this stuff been going on. The whole world been talking about reparations. You just heard about it because your favorite YouTube personalities.
Tariq, now look, she said the whole world known about it, but she gonna name people just in Black America. Why you ain't name the Africans? Why you ain't name CARICOM? The whole world knows about it, but you name people that's foundational to Black America. Like, make that make sense.
Talking about it. This been talking about it. Where Dr. Saul, get Jabari on here. Get Jabari on here, and let's talk about all the work that he was doing, how they were doing it in the 90s, Dr. Khalid Muhammad and all.
Wait. I want to know who this Jabari guy is. Hold on. Because I guarantee you we're going to expose him to. I get all these guys were doing it wrong. Hold on. Let's find this Jabari guy. Okay. Who the hell is she talking about? I can't find a Jabari. Okay, so it says Jabari Brisport, New York Senator. All right, hold on. Okay, so let's talk about Jabari. Okay, let's see what he was arguing. Any mistakes he made? Because why we ain't get no money? You dig? Why we ain't get a yes, a ruling in favor for us? My God. Okay. So we're gonna get Jabari. She said, "Get Jabari." Okay, we gonna get him. We'll get him.
Them. You got Queen Mother Moore and all of them. The stuff that Dr.
Now we already exposed Queen Mother Moore, Ollie Moore. She nothing, a complete nothing burger in the reparations fight. Nothing, nowhere close to none of us on this panel. She was arguing wrong stuff, no court wins, nothing. She knew nothing about reparations.
Ray Wimbush and them, the stuff that they were doing. You all think that people been talking about reparations all over the world. Where you all been? They trying to steal our reparations. You crazy.
Okay. Brisport. She's talking about Jabari Brisport. He New York State Senator, Brooklyn. He has supported New York Reparations Commission bill. It was modeled after California's approach. All right. The goal was to create a task force commission. So the goal of this New York Reparations bill, commission bill, was to create a task force commission. Did you create one? It was to study harms of slavery plus discrimination. It was to recommend remedies, not directly pay money yet. And he was not directly pushing payouts. He was pushing a study first, like HR 40. His argument, was it lineage-based or race-based? It was primarily race-based with some acknowledgement of historical harm. So he was pushing a race-based agenda. Okay. He mainly focused on Black New Yorkers, right? Descendants of enslaved Africans, sometimes mentioned, structural racism, housing, policing, wealth gap, right? He did not strongly anchor it into lineage verification like we do. FBA or ADOS, all right? He, hold on 1 second.
Taking note. Okay, so the Declaration acts as reparations in African heritage, as well as the Accra Declaration on reparations and racial healing and relevant initiatives by the African.
I had a nosy white person listening. So yeah, so he talked about race conscious plus harm based, not strict lineage verified compensation. I mean, yeah, listen, she just embarrassed herself. Okay, so he was arguing race based. And why do people argue race-based reparations? Because they feel like it's easier politically, but because they invite all these people to champion for it, right? So they think more people supports it, it gets more leverage. But the problem is it weakens the legal, it weakens it legally because you're faced with the equal protection issues. Okay, He avoided the courts, family. This Jabari guy, he did not pursue court cases. I guarantee you she does not know that. He knows courts are hostile to reparations, he claims. That's what he said. But he didn't do nothing with the court. His strategy was legislation, not litigation. Okay. So he was talking about passing laws, create commissions, build political pressure. What happened? So New York has introduced reparations commission legislation. They had discussions, right? They had discussions, but they're just talking. No real pressure to do nothing with it. No direct payments implemented. No finalized reparations programs as of now, nothing. And it's still in study. Recommendation phase. You dig? 1,000 years later, the white man's like, you want to talk about this? You want to study? Okay, let's study it together. All right. Are you ready, boss, to talk? No, we're still studying. 1,000 years later, we're still studying. Fuck out of here. So yeah, like I said, he never built a legal case for it. And if he did, it failed because obviously where we at. Yeah. So his approach has been weak, like everybody else's before us, because of over-reliance on race instead of lineage. Okay, Black is too broad legally because immigrants are tagged into it. So you heard those dumb elders was caping for lineage. His commission first strategy stalls momentum, right? So he avoided legal framing entirely. He took it off the table. He had no clear comprehension. He had no clear compensation formula, and okay. He did not move it into legal claims, constitutional strategy, a specific payout structure. In other words, a nothing burger. So again, she's just throwing out names. I guarantee you she can't talk about what they did good, how they moved the needle, nothing. And it didn't go global. Anybody she named, they didn't make this a national talking point, even an international talking point until ADOS and FBA.
King Union, we was doing it first. Everybody stealing from us. Y'all crazy as I don't know what.
That's nobody claim. Nobody claimed we did it first and that's why he's stealing from it. No, our claim is we're doing it in America for us. Lineage-based claims, foundational Black Americans, Adolf Freeman only. Okay, if anybody tag onto that who's not from that same cloth, that's stealing. Not that we did it first. So stop it. Okay, so let's go over here. And again, don't miss the energy she's coming with. It's that Barack Obama energy. Nothing but hostility towards the lineage. And we're like innocent. We're like, nah, we don't want nobody hijacking our reparations. Like, how is that a bad thing?
And it's the intellectual fights. So I love the intellectual fights. Physically, I ain't fighting nothing. Physically, I ain't fighting nothing. But anyway, let's keep going, family. Let's keep going. So it says, recalling the large-scale trafficking of enslaved Africans marked a profound rupture in human history, whose consequences have extended across centuries, facts, and continents, facts, and that the 15th century marked the critical beginning of the exceptional and dark history of the capture. That's true. Hold on, let me get my book out.
You know they got books. They stay with books. Okay, Chemo 412 said, what's frightening is that these folks are educators. The race-based argument will never fly. What country has ever paid to a group all over the world based on race? Right. That's why I keep bringing up the race with Asian. I say, hey, Asian, the race. Asian is a race, right? So when the Japanese were sent to internment camps, based on race, East Indians, Filipinos, and Chinese people can qualify for what happened to Japanese people, right? So yeah, they never have a rebuttal after that. Like they get quiet. So yeah, it was stay low, get low like Lil Jon and East Side Boys. Make sure y'all like the video as you come in. As we're winding down. Yeah, she forget about a debate, FBA convo. She don't want to have a real FBA convo. You dig? It don't got to be a debate. Let's just talk. And let's see where it's really coming from. It's coming from a position of hate and disdain and vitriol for foundational Black Americans. This ain't got nothing to do with scholarship or a debate. This is rooted in hate, deep-seated hatred, because she believes it's messing up her African-centered program.
In my books. The 15th century. So we talking about the 1400s, family.
And then my books, they just order books. You don't read. None of the books are broken into. You just buy books from each other. I bet you it's a Pan-African scholar, self-published. Come on, man. Like that don't mean that. My book. Let me get my book. Yeah, but to Chemo 412 to respond to you. Yeah, I don't know what it is with educators in these spaces. They just automatically turn against the race. I don't know what's going on in those classrooms, man. They putting a helmet on top of them, hate FBAs, hate FBAs. I don't know what's going on, but it's like the more educated they become, and they get into these spaces, they become the biggest haters. And this always been like this. This is not new. It's all like they've been the most distrustful people in our communities and in our lineage. That's a fact.
Look at this. Portuguese in West Africa, 1415 to 1670. If you know me, you know that this is my book. This is one of my goals.
But you didn't read it because there's no way you will believe Ghana isn't complicit and accountable in the slave trade.
when I'm talking about the transatlantic slave trade, kidnapping
You don't talk
trade.
about it. Wait.
Come on, y'all.
Wait, did you say kidnapping trade? Hey, family, I told you, when they use that word kidnap, they're implying white folks came to Africa with a net and they just threw it on top of people and dragged them to the slave ships and made off like a bank robbery, a jewel heist.
This book right here, you know that this is my book. This is one of my go-tos when I'm talking about the transatlantic slave trade, kidnapping trade.
Okay, so now let's ask her, who did the kidnapping? It's like, why even say that? It's not called the kidnapping trade, but why'd you say that? Because you're implying white folks did the kidnapping. That's completely historically false. It was those musty Africans who did the kidnapping.
Come on, y'all. This book right here. So when you say, it did start it. That's when the Portuguese, you all better get that Mel track, episode 3. You better go to Mel track.
Hell no. No. We definitely ain't buying that. Listen to this foolishness. This revisionist stuff you're doing. Hell no.
Adults have watched it and said they learned about the transatlantic captured Africans taken from North state spawned up the people of Africa through the first known mass type enslavement. So you keep seeing those racialized chattel enslavement. So you keep seeing those words, racialized chattel. So that describes the type of enslavement. It says up the people of Africa through the first known mass state-sponsored auction of captured Africans taken from Nor to Dar and the Bay of Argan. Dr. Mott probably butchered that, but this is what it says right here. They're giving you some history in this document. Okay. The first known state-sponsored auction of captured Africans taken from these 3 places, recognizing that for 400 years, the trafficking of
family, why she ain't read who did the kidnapping? All right, hold on. Let me make this bigger. Hold on one second. Let me see if it's in there. I got a card bluff. That's so tiny. Shit. Where are my glasses? I'm a card bluff right here. Let me call her bluff. It's so blurry and tiny. Okay. It says large scale trafficking of enslaved Africans worked but it says it's so blurry designation by the African Union of 2025 as the year of justice. Wait, this can't be ancient. It's talking about the year of 2025. The hell? This ain't. Then it says, and to 20. Yo, man, get this shit out of here. Yeah, this is a modern book she's reading right now. They ain't no. What, man? That book talking about 2025. You don't get up out of here with that. And notice that who did the kidnapping? Why do they always leave that out? Who did the kidnapping?
Enslaved Africans and racialized chattel enslavement of Africans, forcibly captured, commodified, and transported millions of African men, women, and children, constituting the largest forced migration. No, we was already here, Doc. I'm an Indian, right? So the largest forced migration. See, it's only like that on the internet, family. The largest forced migration in history and one of the longest running systems of all.
Hey, if anybody believes anything she said was correct, or maybe I misunderstood something, if she want to speak for herself, let me provide that link right here. Okay. So if I misunderstood on anything she said, click that link.
Organized mass human exploitation in recorded history, with millions more dying during capture, detention, and trafficking across the oceans. These are facts. being brought to United Nations. They're not bringing no pseudo history in front of the various countries around the world.
But who did the capturing? Why are we only told about the Europeans? Why are we not told about the homie tribes, the Oyos? Why are we only talked about? Why the only thing you like to selectively read is the European part?
They're not doing that. These are facts. We have the records acknowledging the diverse legal and moral traditions across the world would have affirmed the inherent dignity of all human beings, and recognizing in particular African jurisprudence, such as, there's a bunch of y'all, you know, I butchered the African names, okay? So it's the Mandan Charter of 1235, which established through Articles 5 that everybody has a right to life and to the preservation of physical integrity, and established the sovereignty of life over property. Here it is.
Okay, so look, she says the 15th century beginning, the forced migration, right? Y'all heard her say that. She said, and the facts in the document prove the matter, and that no one is bringing pseudo history to the UN. She said that. Here's the problem, Dr. Queen Nzinga. UN resolutions are political documents, not neutral referee verdicts on every disputed historical nuance. They can be fact-based, but they are also strategic, diplomatic, and selective. So citing a UN resolution does not erase all debate about African participation, legal beneficiaries, who gets compensated, whether descendants in the U.S. have distinct standing. That, what you have in your hand, is a nothing burger. A UN resolution cannot support a moral and political claim, but it is not a magic wand that resolves every historical dispute or every reparations design question. You got to stop.
Recognizing that Africans and the people of African descent have continued.
Okay. Let me see if anything else. All right.
Continuously resisted. Oh no, there was no they just let it go. Everybody just bought everybody. They just went to Africa and picked up people, and they just bought they bought them, and just it was no, y'all crazy. It says recognizing that Africans and people of African descent have continuously resisted, contested, and litigated. Yeah, we went to court. We have the records.
Court to do what?
The crimes of slavery and the slave trade.
Okay, yeah. She's mixing facts. Anyway, I had enough of her. Had enough for her.
Was the rise of a lot of social media, a lot of new social media platforms. You understand? See, the Obama years coincided with the explosion of platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and all that. So it made people be able to easily publicly express how they felt. We didn't really, something's up with this dude. You know? So we started to see all of these other people getting emboldened by Obama. Who's getting in office now? We start looking at the Congressional Black Caucus.
Discourse that I'm not gonna say, I don't want to offend anybody, so I don't want to say we're the same people, but we look alike. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my only thing there.
Now, hold on, because see, let me say this. You have.
And I don't feel like laughing that hard. Wait. Oh, the turtle mouth guy. I gotta play the turtle mouth guy. That was hilarious.
Let me see. Yes, indeed. Let me see. Let me get all my folks in here. Let me see. Y'all raise your hand if y'all want to get on up here. Well, that apple juice helped me a lot. That apple juice is good. Let's get Rob. I think that's your name. Rob or Roel. What's your name, brother?
Roel, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you? You a Haitian guy?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Sock passe.
Oh, I had a quick question. So when I hear FBAs be like, they can tell, you know, Africans look different from them. So I got a question. When you see a guy like Michael B. Jordan, how can you tell that a guy like him is different from a Black American? Because as you can see, he's also from Ghana.
This was the
So
funny
if
one.
you just walking in the street, like, how could you tell the difference? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh God, he's not from Ghana, brother.
He is from Ghana. His dad is from Ghana. He even stated it in the Oscars.
Okay, so this is what they do, family. But we supposed to let them come to speak on behalf of us at the UN. Michael B. Jordan's father, he said it himself. He said at the Oscars, he said, my dad flew into Ghana. My God. He said, where's my dad? Okay, he just flew in to Ghana. And Tethers took that as he's Ghanaian. That's can't make it up, family. Can't make it up. Can't make it up. I wish you could. Okay, where we at now?
Rags, your Rags?
Yeah, what's good, man?
What's up, Rags? Are you from Senegal?
Nah, how was Senegal though? You seem to be enjoying yourself over there.
Yeah, I had a great time in Senegal. Yeah, every time I go on vacation, I have a great time. Now, where you from Ghana? Where you from?
Yeah.
Wait. I gotta get to the turtle mouth guy. I gotta show this one. This one is hilarious.
And they're explicitly Pan-Africanists. I don't see no other group of blacks doing anything similar to that.
Similar to what? Just getting the white supremacists off of them?
Yeah, not just getting them out, not just the white supremacists, also the Arab supremacists also.
But they had
the fucking Arabs.
But
hold on. Thank you for the super chat. We got and where it go? Oh, we got Big Chief toilet paper. Dusty panties think we deserve to suffer. Yeah. Hey, she is a complete op, man. Way worse than 19Zs. Way worse. Way worse than, yeah. She out of anybody who was talking trash as a Pan-African, she is the worst. And I thought she was a rider at one point because she was acknowledging FBA's, that's her lineage, and she was even fighting amongst her cult group. But then I guess they got to her. And she's been on one ever since, man. She's like all the way werewolf. She's not even Teen Wolf no more. Half man, half wolf. She's the real deal. She's the real deal. All right. Let's continue. Get to this turtle mouth guy. This is hilarious.
they had to circle back and get Russia to be their big brother, though. So did they really get him?
Yeah. Well, Russia doesn't have the history of slavery like the U.S. and the other crackers got.
Yeah, not because of a moral thing. They just didn't have access to the Atlantic Ocean like that. That's why Russia.
They didn't. Well, remember, Russia is right off the straits of. It's like they're literally right off the top of China.
Yeah,
they could access Africa just like everybody else did.
Yeah, but they couldn't bring the shit over to America though. They didn't have easy access from a naval standpoint to get over here to America. That's the reason why. It wasn't no big moral thing.
But I got to give them credit for never buck breaking.
Hey, by the way, family, this Tether's lying. Russia was behind scenes doing things, and they were buying it cheap. So although they weren't there, like Tariq Nasheed said, that wasn't, they had some problems getting there. So they felt like it wasn't worth it. And that's why America wasn't part of it either, by the way. So the African man don't know that. He don't know America or Russia, they were not directly tied into carving up Africa. America decided to expand west, and Russia decided to do things that benefit Russia only. But neither one of them were directly involved in carving up Africa. But Russia did benefit from the carving. He bought stuff for cheap. So when the European countries went over there and they got stuff out of Africa, Russians bought it for the low. So he took advantage of the stolen quotation, the stolen goods. So you gotta know your history, my guy. You're up here just rambling.
Blacks and Africans and never enslaving blacks Africans or the pretendians or whoever the fuck the FBAs call themselves.
Well, no, we're not pretendians. We're foundational Black Americans, sir. Somebody.
No, not the ones who. I'm not talking about the ones who at least own up to the fact that they're Black. I'm talking about the ones who say that they're not Black.
Right, Russia.
Well, yeah, to be a foundational Black American, Black is in the word. So
wait a minute, isn't Russia the main ones that's bringing? They got the Africans with landmines strapped across their chest. Like, how you mention Russia, and Russia are the main ones that lured Africans into Russia for like college and jobs, and then got them fighting on the front line against Ukraine. Like, what are we doing?
No. But there's a sect of FBAs that don't claim any Black. They call themselves Indians or natives or whatever the fuck they call themselves.
Well, there's 45 million foundational.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about that particular sect that don't want to claim any African. I tell them, those motherfuckers, to stay out of Africans' business.
Well, Africans stay out of our business, though.
No, I'm talking about the sect that don't claim Africa. Right. Stay out of Africa's business.
Well, the thing is, if you're on your own land, which is us, we're on foundational Black American land, why do people from Africa try to get in the business over here? They come to our ancestral burial sites and try to get moral clout. And I think that's where people got some issues.
Because just like me as a Haitian American, we have ancestral shit over here in America too. Like if you go to Savannah, Georgia, there's like a memorial that commemorates what the fuck we did here.
No,
the fact that y'all have Louisiana, the fact that y'all got.
Let's slow down. Down in Savannah, there was a handful of soldiers who came over with the French, who got their ass kicked by the British, basically. So yeah, that's not really nothing to commemorate. They got their ass tore up by the British. It was a small handful of Haitians. Now, what were you about to say about New Orleans? My God. MacArthur, what you about to say about New Orleans? Let's hear this. Unmute your mic, brother. Lord.
No, I'm just saying, New Orleans, that whole area, Louisiana, the Louisiana Purchase, if any of y'all do any kind of research or study, I'm not sure if the people that follow you do any of that, but the Louisiana Purchase would not have happened had it not been for the Haitians. You heard?
Yeah, but that was a second.
I just want to make sure that your audience knows that.
Okay, but
I know you know that. I know you know.
Well,
I just want to make sure your audience knows.
Now, I know the context of it. Okay, that was an inadvertent.
All them damn pretendians that follow you, all of them. I just want to make sure.
Okay, he's tether babbling. Okay, yeah, the Napoleon, because he was in several wars, including with Haiti, and he was warring with other people. He said, "Fuck it, let me sell this shit. My money is tight." So it was an indirect thing, but here's the problem. When Napoleon sold it to the U.S. government, it expanded slavery. So it actually turned out bad for us, sir. That didn't work out in our favor. We had to be enslaved longer in more areas. So yeah, so we want to look at it from that perspective. It didn't really work out for us like that, but we had to.
All right, so now he's on camera now. So I want you to see it for yourself. Yes, the 1803 Louisiana Purchase significantly expanded slavery in the United States by adding vast new territories, including Arkansas, Missouri, and Louisiana, where slavery was permitted. It fueled westward expansion of the plantation system, ignited intense political conflict over slave versus free states, and led to compromises, notably the Missouri Compromise of 1820. Oh, this didn't work in your favor, my guy. All right, so now I want you to see this guy's face as he rants. Hold on. The face is you're gonna be dying.
Fight our way out of it eventually. There you go. What's going on, brother? Turn your microphone on. Turn your microphone on. Turn your microphone back on. I can't hear you, sir. There you go. There you go. Now you down in Florida, Brother MacArthur?
No, I'm in New York.
You're in New York. Okay. Yes, indeed. Now, when have you been back to visit Haiti?
Yes, I have.
When was the last time you went to Haiti?
Right after you left.
Oh, this was shit. When did I do 1804?
Right after you did that 1804, I was like, it's a little funny, like that you was able to fly drones in Haiti and do all types of shit that I wouldn't be able to do as easily as you've been able to do.
Yeah, and
you was able to fly drones out there. I'm like, damn, that's some agent type shit.
Agent to fly a drone in a third world third world country? How's that?
It ain't any third world country. We got resources over there.
Dude, that's a third world country, sir.
It's a third world country because your daddy and your mommy, your white mommy and your white daddy made it a third world country.
White mommy, y'all had to pay white mommy and white daddy. That's why you over here with us. And what does an agent need to do in Haiti? What the fuck y'all got over there that an agent need to do something? Don't get quiet. What the fuck does an agent have to do over there and they're in abject poverty?
What does it? Oh, excuse me?
Nothing, yeah. What would an agent...
What the fuck did you just say?
You're in abject poverty. You're over here. What the fuck would an agent need to do over there?
You explain that. You answer that.
It's your lie.
You answer that question, brother.
It's your lie. Your lie don't make sense to you. I can't make sense out of your dumb ass lie. You just thought about how dumb your lie sounded. What would an agent need to do in broke?
So Professor Smalls is lying too?
No. What would an agent need to do in broke ass, hungry third world Haiti, sir?
Well, we got resources over there, motherfucker.
That you don't have control over, fool. You don't have control over them. You don't have control over none of the oil that you don't have control over them, sir. What you talking about? Talking about the resources. That's in the ground that you have no control over.
Your white daddy has control of our resources, motherfucker.
That's your white daddy, because you...
That's your white daddy, motherfucker.
You fled your musty ass over here to be under white daddy, turtle mouth nigga. You fled over here to be under white daddy. With you in that hairline. You came over here to be under white daddy. So what does that say about you? Huh? Unmute your microphone, turtle mouth. Why you flew over here to be around white daddy? You ain't over there in your homeland, sir. Oh, unmute your microphone.
I'm here to get my check, bitch.
You ain't getting your check, you
I'm here to get my check,
bitch. No. France has your check.
I'm here to get my check.
You ain't getting no check. You're not getting nothing. And are you in prison?
No, motherfucker.
Are you in prison, sir? Is that a prison uniform? You look like you in a work release prison uniform or something, sir. Yeah, cut all that tough guy talk out, sir. Because, yeah, if it weren't for us, you'd be over there with barbecue right now, hungry and dusty, sir. No. Now get your mustache off my phone. The hell out of here. Stop trying to sound tough. Goat mouth nigga. Watch your damn mouth. Don't try to... The hell out of here. Stop trying to sound tough.
No.
Goat mouth nigga. Watch your damn mouth. Don't try to sound tough. Nigga, you a male nurse. The fuck you trying to sound tough for? This nigga in a nurse uniform. Trying to sound like a gangster. Nigga, go change your fucking bedpan, nigga. How a male nurse gonna try to sound gangster? I'm coming to get my money, bitch. Nigga, go out there and put a catheter on somebody, hoe ass nigga. This is a damn male nurse trying to sound gangster with a fake nursing degree. The hell you think you talking to? You ain't tough.
No.
Nigga, you rub damn Vaseline on bed sores, nigga. Stop trying to sound tough. Up here trying to sound like a G, a fleeing punk. The hell you think you talking to? I heard a Nurse Betty, but not Nurse Sweaty. A sweaty, musty tether. Nurse Sweaty. Trying to sound like a G. The hell you talking to? Turtle mouth ass. And them struggled Milli Vanilli ass braids. He coming to get a check. What check? You gave your check to France, punk. You coming over here up under us. Talking about what you did for. You ain't did shit for us. You know, hey, the Louisiana Purchase, that's because of us. Yeah. That turned out bad for us, fool. The Louisiana Purchase caused slavery to be expanded. That didn't work out in our favor, fool. The hell you talking to? Talking about we had drones over there, so that's some agent shit. Agent for what? What you got to agent against? He couldn't even answer that. These tethers be having delusions of grandeur. What would an agent need to do over there? You ain't got nothing to agent against. Nigga, they took a Uber to go assassinate your damn president over there. Nigga, anybody can go. They don't need no agent. These people from South America took a damn Uber to go and assassinate the damn president. They took a cab. They just walked over there and assassinated your damn president. Talking about a damn agent. The hell you talking about? Your country is completely destabilized. An agent, that's some agent shit right there. You ain't that important, dude. You're not that important. Agent for what? What, to kick over your dirt cookie cart? The hell you talking about? You live in your homeland is completely destabilized. We got resources that you ain't got no control over. You don't control the oil and none of the minerals there. You got dirt cookie resources. The only thing you control are dirt cookies and flip-flop manufacturing, so you can flee, nigga. What are you talking about? I'm dumb as hell. Mad because you had to flee. Over here working as a male nurse, trying to sound like a G. Get your ass in there and wipe somebody's ass and put the damn IV in him. He probably got a fake ass nursing degree. He looked like it. Yeah! Man. He looked like a prison nurse. Like he's a nurse at a male nurse at a jail. Don't he? And he sneak in contraband in his bussy for some of the inmates. That's what you look like. You got an iPhone in your booty hole, nigga, that you sold for $200. Hell out of here. Trying to sound tough. The hell you think you're talking to? Ain't no nigga in no nursing uniform gonna intimidate nobody. Nigga, you wearing a nursing uniform, fool. No. Up here in a nursing uniform and some damn Crocs. Bruh. The hell you think you talking to? I come to get my money, bitch. The hell you talking to? In nurse scrubs. Fuck you talking to, bitch ass. I be damned. These folks be sounding crazy.
Yeah, give me a second to address the baby. Let me connect my Bluetooth to the phone. All right. We talk about baby Linda. Right, okay, it's because I could have this. All right. Let me just check the audio. Okay. Okay. All right. So Linda, aka Baby, you said that she sent a $10 super chat to Afro Elite to say we're in a cult. Okay, cool. So as I let her know to her face, you dig? I didn't sugarcoat anything. anybody heard the dialogue between me and her, I would say I'll replay it, but it's like it's not even worth like a replay. You know, she was all over the place. She was all over the place. She's a Democrat and she votes for them no matter what. And I'm like, that didn't make any sense. And then where she was voting red, where she was voting blue, no matter what, she no longer lives there. When you press her, she's somewhere else where she'll vote either way. Like, wait, like what? Like she was all over the place when I was talking to her. She had multi different positions, right? Shows that something ain't right with her. I kind of sensed that early with her. It did, but I try to, you know, like people try to frame me a certain way when I be cooking on tethers and ops. So I try to sometimes be politically correct. Even though I feel a certain way about them, I try to like reserve judgment and let them tell it themselves. So I just pull it out of them. But at some point, as you can see, she was like driving me nuts, and I decided to like scream at her a couple times. It did, but hold on. But she clearly wasn't like she's a talker. She one of those babbling talkers. She's 53. I already said like a lot of people like that at that age is like nothing you can do with them. You dig? Ain't nothing you can do with people at that age that's behaving like that. You feel me? So I had already explained that, or I said that to her. Hold on one second. I'm trying to buy a battery for my key fog thing. Okay. Yeah, so she was talking some ridiculous stuff. Give me a second. What's in? Yo, nobody got my battery. Oh boy, it's like the second store I've been at. I might hate to order online. It ain't even close. The hell kind of battery I got? Where nobody got it. Hmm. Hmm. It looks like you don't have my battery. The one that nobody has. Oh, that's what it says? So why I say 90? Oh, so what's the number in the front? Oh. Hmm. All right. Yeah, I seen that then. I seen 2032 somewhere. Nah, I don't even want one. What's the price difference between a double pack and a one? The same? And me the double then. Yeah, so you know, I dealt with her with kid gloves. I let her talk. I even let her call back in. But I told her, like I told the woman, I said, yo, I said, read the chat. You know, that's my way of letting people know I ain't tripping. Because sometimes when I am tripping, the chat will be like, yeah, you tripping. You bugging by Ron. You know, they got a point over here. And I just get quiet. I'm like, all right, whatever. I leave it alone. I get quiet. But but she didn't seem like she was mentally there, you know. So yeah, I'm waiting for 2 o'clock. That's when he's gonna talk about Garvey. interested to see his take on it. I hope it's a whole. I see. He don't do thorough breakdowns until his Sunday his Sunday lives, because I want to know like what he got there different than what I got. Yeah, so I'm patiently waiting for 2 o'clock. But anybody wanna call in real quick? If not, we're gonna end it right before 2 o'clock. What time is it? It's 1:40. We got a good 20 minutes to chop it up. Yeah, but good luck for keeping tabs on that Linda, crazy Linda, lying Linda. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And it might be the wrong. Let me see. Mm, mm. That's gonna be the wrong. I go back. I think you got another number, an old number. Mm. All right. Mm. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So, but like I said, now that's being on code, keeping tabs on these haters. Now, let me know if now Zion, what's his name? Lex Vortex should just go his own way, right? I won't say nothing else about him. Goes on way. But yeah, but these folks that come over here that have an argument, and when it doesn't check out, when the argument is flawed and they get called out, like they just can't say, you know what, all right, okay, cool, let me move on. Like they have this grudge, this hate within them. You dig that they keep a record, a memories. Like, yo, sis, you had your chance. You called in, we spoke enough. You called back in, we spoke enough. You dig? And I got you up out of here. Move on. Like, but we're a cult. You know what? She already believed that coming in. She already believed that coming in. So nothing's going to change her mind. Like she already thought that. 'Cause, again, like she exposed herself. Like I cooked her little lawyer sister, her fake lawyer sister. Oh no, my sister said you can't, reparations, statute of limitations. So I'm listening like, wait, your sister said what about reparations? Oh yeah, it's too long. It's too long ago. So I said, but what about the 1877 land theft that white folks did to the native tribes, the indigenous tribes, and they came back with a 1.5 billion offer 200 some years later. Like, is that like damn near 200 years later? Is that not statute limitations? She's quiet. Like, yeah, you just talking. Like your sister don't know shit about reparations. And she might not be a lawyer the way she talking. And like, what do you? Okay, she's a lawyer. What? How is she familiar with history, like, or politics? Like, what kind of lawyer is your sister? Inspector Gadget lawyer? She could do it all. She can handle all cases. Like, stop, man. This lawyer, the appeal to authority bullshit. Like, you got to stop. So, yeah. Yes, a lot of people come over here. They get thoroughly crushed, like Lex. They get thoroughly crushed, and then they become a enemy forever. It's like, yeah, I'm over it. I'm over with it. You dig? I'm over it. I'm good. I'm not mad at nobody. They can still call in. You dig? But when you're unmuting yourself, when I have to mute you, like, That's not respectful to the channel. But yeah, but again, like a lot of these people, like these people. I don't got to tell you nothing new. Some of you don't, some of you do. But a lot of you check their track record. They got a track record of being argumentative, belligerent, disrespectful, other platforms, always falling out with people. You dig? I don't have that. I don't have that. The reason that certain people don't rock with me, the only reason why certain people, the only disagreement I have with people that I used to be with online is FBA. That is the only reason why we're not talking to each other. Because I said I'm FBA and they said I'm their enemy because they're an immigrant or they're Pan-African. That's what they said. Right. So that's the only reason why we're not talking, because they believe that I can't be friends with them because I'm FBA. They have thoughts about me. I'm in a cult. I'm being brainwashed. I'm divisive. I'm xenophobic. I'm dumb. This is their argument. I never, like, they said, okay, I say I'm FBA, man. I ain't no Pan-African and that stuff. And they said they're a Pan-African or they're an immigrant. I'm like, okay. Like, I didn't say they were dumb, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, you're a Pan-African, you dig? Or you an immigrant, okay. Like, I thought we still could be cool. Nope. So you see that it's clear that they don't want to be cool with anybody who self-acknowledges as FBA, Adolf, Freeman, anybody who is part of the delineation movement. Anybody's part of that, they look at as ops because they believe that we are. Now, who knows that they believe this? But their talking point is that we are divisive against Africa. All of a sudden, even people I know personally who has nothing to sell to who have nothing to sell to Africa, believe the same thing, or fake believe the same thing. And then when you have intimate conversations with them, all right, what's your problem with FBA? They start to ask the most stupid questions. Then when you try to like ask it back, like, yeah, wait, I answered your question, you don't like it, but let me ask you that about Jamaicans, or, oh no, we're not talking about Jamaicans. I know, but I want to show you that if you got a problem with FBA self-identifying and delineating, then you got to have a problem with Jamaicans and Haitians doing the same thing. Everybody in the diaspora doing the same thing, not openly saying they're African. Oh, no, we're not talking about Haitians. Oh, okay. So we're not talking about Haitians and Jamaicans because it contradicts your hatred, your bias against FBAs. I got it. Yeah, okay. Okay. I got it. I understand. I get you. I got you. I know where you're at now. You dig? And that's where it's at. That's where it's at. None of us are going to be deceived and lied to believe. None of us going to be deceived or lied to believe that these people are genuine. And that's why I say, like, if you are FBA, you have the lineage and you have a Pan-African ideology, right? Because FBA is like a blood thing, like a DNA thing. It's a genealogy thing, and Pan-Africanism is a mind thing. Big difference. So if you are of our lineage and you're FBA, okay, if you're a Pan-African, you might want to put that on hold for a little while, because your religion, and it is a religion, your religion is making y'all look bad, and it's making all y'all targeted, like, as y'all, like, we're on a fence. Like, I kind of really don't want to rock with you because it's the backdoor thing. It's like, like, I can't really, like, listen, ain't no backdoor over here. We're standing on all of our toes are on the lineage. Like, we don't have no dual allegiance. We're not caping for people who's not of the lineage. Like, they can hold their own nuts. Now, I'm not going to lie about people who are not of the lineage like they do us. We're not going to lie and make them look worse than what they are. Or if they don't, I'm not saying they look bad at all. I'm just saying we're not going to lie on them to make them look like something. We're going to be honest about them. Roasting is roasting. I'm not talking about roasting. Roasting is roasting, but I'm definitely not going to lie on them to justify us, whatever you do. You get what I'm saying? All right. So it looks like Tariq about to go live in a second. I'm about to eat. So family, I'm really excited to hear what this Garvey conversation is going to be like. All right. I'll hit you guys back later. You did, because after he dropped his Garvey thing, I got my Garvey information, so we're gonna make it lit. All right. Peace. We end the live. Peace to the family. Thanks for the support. Thanks for any super chats, any cash app. Thank you.